For a guy who claimed to be so clever, he really could have made some better decisions in his life.
Such as what? Be specific.
Well, he cheated on his wife.
You mean his cousin?
Well, there's also rumors that he was working with the government and creating all kinds of lethal weapons that he shouldn't have been doing. So that's not that clever to make stuff like that.
I need to get on the ball with upgrading my camera. Definitely after I move, but the moon's trailing right overhead, like dead overhead right now. So this is like the perfect time. I kind of want to track it and see where it's going to go. So I need a tripod. I need to set it up. Pick a spot in the yard or something and chalk outline it or something. Raw eggs though, yum.
Hello, 24/7 Flat Earth Discord. DoorDash. Mic check.
Roger. You're good. The gas pressure is still with us.
What's up, Cuddles?
Talking about gas pressure, trying to write a song.
You know you cannot have gas pressure without a containment.
Absolutely.
Wonder if most people don't know that or don't actually contemplate it correctly.
Well, they think about it on a small scale, but then when they start thinking about like the fact that they're breathing and they can fart, they don't even like it. Just right over the head.
They don't connect the dots, do they?
No, that's hence leaf blower atmosphere. Man, that was a good one. Bro, that cracks me up. I mean,
Well,
they
we got
all
an
do.
old Rose person on here named Vendetta. Has anybody tried to talk to them? Is it V for Vendetta? That was a good movie.
I think so. I think that was a broken mic thing. I don't remember.
Is there an unmeter around that wants to try Vendetta? I can't look at the list right now. Currently
I'm gonna say
operating a motor vehicle.
bro, that moon though, look at that with my garbage camera.
You're looking at your garbage can.
Yeah, that phone, the garbage camera. I took a picture of the moon yesterday morning.
Wow. The moon is a mysterious enigma, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I got my idea, my foundation on my ideas set straight.
I have ideas too, but can't prove any of them. I don't think it's
Love,
physical. I don't think it's a rock sitting in the sky. That's
love.
stupid.
That's the
That's
fun
dumb.
thing. They're apparent. I nailed that down.
Yeah.
So there is no question they fit the definition 100,000%. They are
Yeah.
apparent. Now, from there, the source is the question.
Yep. What's creating and what we're seeing, right?
And see, the funny thing is like when you look at things like buried treasure and stuff like that, you always get into this like you got groups of people looking all on the wrong places. And this is like one of those treasure hunts. You got a bunch of people thinking they're looking in the right place, and they're looking in the wrong place.
That reminds me of that old song, I was in the right place, but it must have been the wrong time. Anyway.
Well, there's a guy who made a series of poems and hid an object, and it was a treasure hunt. And it's funny because if you put them all in the wrong order, you end up in the wrong place looking for the right thing. It was quite entertaining to watch the show about.
Yeah, sounds like it.
It was pictures and poems to give clues, and it's travel like you travel in this across different countries. So like there's some moving and scooting to go because you have to find the other clues. gas pressure though. That one. Yeah, it's just certain things solidify, man. Like the apparent sun and moon. It's solidified. It's just a hunt for the treasure that requires independent exploration. Independent exploration. Completely independent. Unless it's aided, however, but independent as in the I'm the one telling the driver where to turn the boat, the helicopter, the plane, etc. No, there's no override directive. You blow a tire on the side of the road, you just take it off, and you put some gravity paste on there. And what happens is you don't need the tire anymore. It just the air sticks to the gravity paste, and it's so dense that you can just drive down.
Yeah, it sounds legit.
Yeah, it's a new invention.
As far as I can tell, no one can demonstrate having any sort of gas pressure without containment. But that's just me, I guess.
I know, but my gravity paste, bro, it's gonna revolutionize everything.
Better get a patent on that real quick.
Yeah. Stocks to invest in low. Yeah. Because the fun thing is, just like blinker fluid, you know people are gonna buy it. You know people are gonna use it. You know. There may not be a video of it, but you know. You just know. It's that one day you just feel weird. That's that guy putting that gravity paste on there after he ripped that tire off.
Unfortunately, you're joking around, but there's a lot of people at that kind of level. So it's always
Bro,
somebody out there that's gonna buy the snake oil, right?
do you know how much blinker fluid dispenser sells? Okay. I've been there, done that when I was younger. It was one of those many jobs. Uh, and some people just didn't get it. I do mean genuinely didn't get it. Oh.
I'm probably gonna start a robot, and I'm going to a low satellite coverage area, I think. I'm starting to figure out where the dead spots are around because I drive around the same roads every day. Am I still here?
All right, you're good.
Okay. Beautiful day here in Kentucky. How's it down in Texas? Is that where you're at,
It's
Texas?
gorgeous. It's flipping gorgeous.
Do all your exes live in Texas?
Hell no. And if they do, they're not near me.
All right, I just came to a stop sign. Looks like V for Vendetta is the only new person on here. If somebody wants to try to talk to him. Otherwise,
Did,
we'll
but
have.
he doesn't want to talk.
He doesn't want to talk. Okay.
Right.
We'll let Cuddles do a 20-minute monologue, then go.
Oh, good mercy. About what? Gas pressure?
I'll let Cuddles do a
Yeah.
20-minute monologue.
Hey, Lou, get ready. Buckle up, buddy. Brace yourself. Here it comes. I'm a slam dunk.
I want
all right?
30 minutes. I want 30 minutes. If they 20 minutes, that's bullshit.
No. Cuddle's got facts. Well, you can BS in another room. This is live stream. Gotta be facts, right? Facts. Demonstrable.
We need somebody. We need somebody to come in here so that we can get on appointments and then have the logical progression of it. I don't want to just hear somebody ramble on. I'm mostly just going to be listening in anyway. I got some music playing in the background too. I think I'm gonna fucking get on my hands and knees and scrub the floors good. Been doing like spring. Been doing some spring cleaning all fall, basically doing all that deep shit. This is one of the jobs that I've been putting off.
Oof. I can logically progress some stuff, but it's going to sound very basic. Because I like just getting to the root. Quick as possible.
Let's throw out an invite to anybody listening on YouTube, whatever. Click the link. Come in here and tell us about why you think you live on a globe. Or if you don't, either way.
I just want to know how it's possible. As far as I can tell, nobody, physical body, no people have gotten into the vacuum chamber that they have. Now, they've allegedly made other rooms like that where they can test things. I don't know if I'm buying that, especially if they go down as far as the other chamber does. I don't think I'm buying that either, because that chamber is specifically designed for what it does. And the other one is a square room that doesn't look like it can get that low if they try. But no people have ever gone into the other chamber. The one that gets to like, what is it, 8 or 7 or something. Something along those lines. No, nobody's ever been in it. Nobody. So if nobody's ever been in that, how could there be a spacewalk to know if you can't survive half of that? How do you know you can survive double that?
Well, see, that's the problem. Is they do go to space, but they've been lying to you about it being a vacuum. They don't want you to know that you can just go out there.
Oh, right. Like the air just continues forever, right? Okay.
You just need a snorkel.
Yeah. That's what that last comet looked like, bro. Seriously, I'm telling you, somebody up there is having a good time, and that's a hell of a boat they're on. I watched that. Looks like a damn boat moving through water.
Well, and I've said this before. It's and a lot of people don't really. Some people don't like it, but like space could be real. Like all the stuff that they tell you about it, if it was a more dense fluid than our air. Like so like if space was a fluid that instead of a vacuum, which is the opposite, it's a dense medium instead of no medium. Like then all of their stories pretty much could work.
Right, right. But then they'd have to go with the new Bill Nye quote that enclosed system container. And then from there that we would have to build. But see, then that brings other questions up to my mind. But I mean, dude, I didn't have a decent setup for it. We had some freaking pretty decent binoculars. For what we could see, holding everything still, it looked like a boat going over water. Or somebody might say superfluous helium-3.
Yeah, that would be good. Be good.
Yes. But I can see it in everything that I've been able to witness. I can see it. But it's like a container underneath a freaking lake of helium instead of. Like, we're the cannonball from the ship that's at the bottom of their ocean, Savvy. That's kind of funny. But it also would put into perspective a meme I have about a book that most people don't like to talk about. Mostly because it ends most of the stupid argument. Like the petty non-flat earth argument. See, this is why I want to build the craft to go up, and we can figure out air or something inside the containment that we have to go up that high. But helium balloons or something attached to a container, windows, parachutes, obviously, and probably like some bumpers. Welcome back. Go up that high for a day or two. Get a good idea what's going on. I mean, we almost had it all with dirigibles and stuff. I don't get it. I don't get why all that stopped. Other than it, it negates the story that came out right after they got rid of those. Yeah, no, we've got a faster way to travel in a straight line across a plane. Yeah, it's called an airplane. We don't need dirigibles. Faster. Straight line. Faster.
How about Flatter Day Saints, VC verified? We talked to them. Anybody know?
I haven't heard from them.
Yeah, I don't know who he is.
What's up? What's up, Glat and Flatman?
Hi.
It's another day on the plane, sir.
That's right, another flat day on a flat plane. No, I'm just kidding.
Hello?
Hi.
Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Cool. I suck at Discord, man. I'm retired. I always feel like you guys kick me off or like I interrupt somebody, so I don't want to say anything. You know what I mean?
Nah, man, you're good. Welcome.
All right, cool. You know what I mean? I don't know. I really like Nathan Oakley's voice. I wanted him to, on my next video, be like, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Saturday Saints show. I'll be a host for this evening." You know?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. If the
try to
price
do
is
the-
right, he might do it. No, I'm just kidding.
I try to do the voice myself, and it's kind of cool. I always use my own voices, and I can change my voice. But sometimes it'd be cool because he sounds like hella authentic and like, I don't know, he sounds like a DA or a lawyer over in Great Britain or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So-
he's been in film and television over there, I think, for a lot of his career. So yeah.
Nathan Oakley.
Yeah.
I was under the understanding that he was working at a grocery store not too long ago.
Yeah, I just did some research into his past. Just like things that he's done. He's worked with television companies and advertising agencies and acting and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I
And he
get
was-
it. Everybody over there was in Game of Thrones, so
Right.
who was that was
So-
giving me the impression though? It was a little more of like a Scottish or Irish than an English.
Flatter Day Saints. That's our newcomer.
Is he already gone? I don't see him anywhere.
No, he's here.
Hello?
Flatter Day.
Me?
What's up, dude?
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. For some reason, as soon as my screen time's out, I'll be talking and then you guys won't hear what I say. Anyways, I was just making fun of myself. So I said I was the midget in Game of Thrones. Because I'm short.
Got it.
Yeah, anyway.
A flatter
Right on,
day,
man.
why do you have Michelle Thaler in your icon? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's weird.
well,
I do
some
not
people,
see him.
some kids collect baseball cards and stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, kids collect baseball cards.
Right.
Yeah, so I kind of got a little collection of like, my favorite astronauts, or like, she's not an actual astronaut. She's a communicator for NASA at the Goddard Space Center, But what I love the best about her is she tells people if you're an astrophysicist or an astronomer, you're actually a time traveler. And she says there's no way they couldn't be. I used to love Back to the Future. So that's one of the reasons really why I love her. Another reason is she dressed up like a medieval princess at her wedding and then her husband died. I'm really starting to like Stephen Hawking, though. He's becoming my favorite. I just threw him in my latest rap video. So you got to love Hawking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's like the sarcastic kind of you're digging at him, making fun of him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. You know what I mean?
I
I
think
don't
she
know.
looks like a female Dave Mustaine from Megadeth.
Yeah. She has some of the best quotes out of anybody who works at NASA. She says it's dangerous to think the Earth is flat. That's a really good quote. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's full of
Complicated
good
Rock.
quotes,
We
dude.
got Rock Cousins. He has that one too.
The what?
Our cousins are rocks. Have you heard that one?
I've never heard
The
that. Does
complicated
he come
rock.
from stars,
Oh
though?
man. We gotta hook you up, kid.
Dave Mustaine of Megadeth is very offended right now.
It's either
As
Dave
he should be.
Mustaine or a troll doll. I can't decide which one she looks like. A troll
Yeah.
doll kind of.
I'm probably gonna switch my picture pretty soon for my other YouTube channel that hardly has any views. I was using Carl Sagan, but I might just slap on Stephen Hawking, dude. I
got
might
you.
slap him on there. I put him in a whole verse in my last rap song, so I
There
gotta
you
throw
go.
one of them in there. Every song's
So-
gotta have at least one line about astronaut piss. You know what I mean?
Every
Yeah.
yes, every song.
Yeah, at least one line. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Throw McTune's
absolutely.
name in there sometimes too. Yeah,
Well, you got to.
straight
He's
up.
asking for it.
Oh, McTune? Oh, dude, I slaughter that. McTune and Craig, none of those dudes will make any videos making fun of me because they know I will slaughter them. I already do anyways. You know what I mean? But
Yeah, well, I don't.
Just
Yeah.
for the listening audience, those two things are mutually exclusive. Just because you drink your urine doesn't make you an astronaut.
Oh yeah. I'm not saying that. No. But I mean, not every civilian's got a quote unquote machine that can filter piss from today's piss to tomorrow's coffee. So
Yep.
I make sure I always mention that in one of my rap songs. I mean, in case anybody didn't know it's me, and they hear that, they'd be like, "Oh, that's Flat Nasty talking about astronaut piss and stuff." You know what I mean?
Flat Nasty, huh? You got a SoundCloud? Hello? Am I coming through? Mic check.
Here you check.
Loud and clear.
Okay.
He's just having
All
one
right.
of those like communication issues that he's been having.
Got it. Well, you know, as complicated rocks, we don't much know how to communicate just yet, do we?
Hello.
What's up, dude?
Okay, sorry, I keep cutting out on you guys, huh?
Yeah, maybe cutting out, glitching out a little bit.
It's just because as soon as my phone turns black from like the timeout, then it stops. I don't know why.
You can stop that. You can go into your settings and switch that off.
Okay.
What kind of phone do you have?
Galaxy S21 Ultra.
Damn it, you had to have a fucking Android.
The what?
Hang on. Hold on. I'm going to try to help you out here. If anybody wants to chat with this young man, go ahead.
That's the exact same phone that I've got too. So I mean, I don't know. Let me look in the settings to see if I can help him with that.
Man, I appreciate
Thank you,
you guys
Lou.
when you guys are helpful. Seriously.
So, Flatter Day, do you have a...
very rarely use mobile for Discord. Kind of sucks.
Do I have a what?
Do you have a SoundCloud that we could check out?
No, I don't. I posted some of my videos recently just on like the message parts of this Discord app, but I don't know if you guys got that. I know about SoundCloud. I just haven't put any of my stuff on there yet.
That's cool, man. I was just wondering if we could hear a taste, a little sample, if you will.
Can you hear it from YouTube on this thing or no?
Well, if you post the link, yeah.
Where do you want me to post it at? Because I posted it on Crack Villains right now.
No, do the live stream voice text. So if you're looking at the channel list, right above where it says live stream, it says live stream voice text.
Okay.
We got a lot of resident musicians in here, so you know.
Babe, do you know how to do it? What are you saying? My girlfriend's so smart, dude. Seriously. They said to go to live stream voice text and I could play it through that.
You could just post the link in there.
Oh wait, down here, right? Okay.
Directly above where all the list of names are says live stream voice.
Oh yeah,
text.
so
Yeah.
Yeah, that's setting.
Okay.
Okay. Probably not.
Yeah. Okay, I think it's out here more.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Voice connect.
Oh, maybe it's.
Direct message.
Yeah, I'm trying. No.
No.
Okay.
What if I put it? What if I put it on one of your guys' things? Because I put it on Damsel Medic and I put it on Crack Villain or Village.
He might not have posting ability. Somebody might have to give that to him.
Okay. So I'm gonna go to direct messages. All right. Should I do that?
Mic check.
Hi,
okay,
Damsel.
I'm gonna
check good.
go into Damsel Medic.
I can finally be heard on this microphone. Oh my gosh, I got to work.
You're loud, but you are there.
Kind of choppy though.
Let me try to back it off. Let me know where it's at, guys, if it's okay for today's ladies' night.
Right there. Right there.
It's a. Oh really? Because for me it seems a little bit.
No, when she, at the end when she was saying, yeah, but when she was like, "Let me know."
How now?
Yeah,
We
it's
good?
hot now. It's
hot.
Yeah.
All right.
It comes
It's
through a
hot,
little
but
bit.
yeah,
you're good.
You're definitely clear.
Heavy,
All right, I'll move it a little more. How about that, guys?
Right there.
Getting better.
There you go.
Right about there?
That
Sure.
sounds good.
All right. Nice to see it working finally.
Sorry to interrupt you guys. I just wanted to know the guy's name so I could give him herbs.
His name is Flatter Day Saints, Elijah.
I got it.
Yeah.
You did it for him?
Latter Day Saints.
Let me
Yeah,
drop
and
one of his pieces of music. I think I have it in my messages.
Nice.
AKA Flat Nasty.
Hey, Lino Tomo? Lino Tomo, you there? Lino Tomo? You're hot mic and just letting you know if someone might be able to.
You know, as far as trying to figure out why it keeps on turning him off when his screen goes dark, I'm not seeing a setting for that in my app. I don't know why it's doing it for him. I got the same exact phone as him, and it doesn't do it for me. And I've never messed with that setting.
Okay.
What's the kind of phone it is?
Galaxy
S21.
S21 Ultra.
Okay. So can I go to YouTube and share the video with the Discord link?
I just posted your one that you sent me
Okay, cool.
so somebody can play it if they want.
Hold down your YouTube channel, tap the settings icon to go to settings. To go to settings on your phone. Settings. Go to display. Go to screen timeout.
You know, maybe it's something to do with your actual Android settings. Like, is it?
Oh,
It could be
I
like
just got it. It was
it could
on
be like
10
power,
seconds. I just
power
put it for
saving
10
mode or
minutes.
something like that.
I just put it for 10 minutes instead of 10 seconds. That's all.
What, for the screen timeout?
Yeah. There's no
See,
never option.
That's the thing. You should be able to have your screen turned off black and still be able to be connected.
Yeah.
It's got to be because I don't see the setting in Discord settings, but maybe it's an Android setting.
It's all right. It's not going to turn off for 10 minutes, though. So,
yeah, it's going to kill your battery fast. So,
I'm about to plug my phone in right now, though. I got one of those fast, high-tech chargers that all the kids are using nowadays.
yeah, you have to buy the Samsung, the 25-watt charger block brick that they don't include with the phone. Then you get the
Yeah,
ultra
no,
fast.
I got that one.
Yeah.
That black one, yeah. It's really important when you buy a Samsung like this. You got to have all the Samsung stuff for it. Using those gas station ones are just a wreck, you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, with any phone, you don't want to use the generic shit. You want to use the stuff that comes with your phone.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I dropped like $1,600 on this phone. It's the most I've ever spent on any phone.
Camera's pretty wicked though for those moonshots, huh?
Dude, just for even running in place, there's no jiggle hardly. It's amazing. You know? Because quite often when I see nuns, Latter-day Saints, or Jehovah's Witnesses, I will park the car wherever I'm at, and sometimes I have to run like 2 or 3 blocks and be fast to catch them. And so, yeah, there's no jiggle. Am I still on the phone with you guys?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I was trying to ask Nathan earlier, but like Nathan, but then like I don't know, he probably wouldn't respond. If I had a dope ass accent like that, I would probably be real picky on who I responded to. Because just like, it doesn't matter what he says, everything he says, you're like, damn, that dude's smart. You know, that's why those pick people with like accents like that.
You gotta stop with that. This misconception that so many Americans have when they hear an accent, they're like, "Oh, I gotta listen to him. He's educated." Like some of those fucking people, they got a great accent and they are boneheads. The fucking
Yeah, absolutely, totally. But like, still, it's just like we as Americans, or me, anyways, is conditioned to think like somebody with that accent, they know what they're talking about. Even it's just such a preconceived misconception, but still, it gets your attention, you know. And that's why I wanted him to do the voice on my thing, because I could do a British voice, but like, you know, I don't know. I'd find somebody else though if he doesn't want to do it. It's probably beneath him.
Flatter day, dude. That video's awesome.
Thank you, bro. Thank you. Yeah. I'm trying to put stuff out that flat earthers can bump to, you know? Because there's so much secular music and they're just talking about crap. I want something that flat earthers would be like, damn, this is banging, you know?
I was laughing. It's good stuff.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
And,
Which one you watching?
I was laughing like in a good way. Like I was like, hell yeah, say that shit.
Oh yeah, okay. You're playing Co-Vagina, that's right.
They're playing it right now. Check it out, dude. Everybody shut up.
They call me Flat Nasty. I got a brand new COVID-19 vagina flown to me all the way from China. No, I don't think that life is a simulation, even though it could be argued that we live in the Matrix. These globetrotters, all they want to do is debate with me about what the Earth's shape is. Me off the bench, coach, and throw me the mic. Your coffee smells like piss from an astronaut's wife. Yo, I mastered my wipe with the toilet paper. Watergate and at Walmart foiled the caper. Took a rapist on a date and waterboarded him later. I'm retorted as ever. You mean retarded as ever? Tomato, tomato, I'm smarter and clever. Potato, potato, same thing, whatever. Came in this game from the drain to sing but never became Tony Soprano. But I rap much better and I'm fast as ever. When I'm out flat smack and running up on them Karens and get attacked. When all I didn't do was put on a mask inside Ralph's at the checkout line. Eating a banana for a step outside. Blew out your candle wax and you was left to dry. Yo, I blessed the sky down in Africa. You mean bless the rain? Damn, Jack, shut up. Yo, I was just getting instrumental on the deck, and you just had to come in. And sentence correct, wouldn't have been in this mess if it wasn't for you. You opened up the door just to clean up your room. Got a brand new COVID-19 vagina flown to me all the way from China. No, I don't think that life is a simulation, even though it could be argued that we live in the Matrix. These globetrotters, all they want to do is debate with me about what the Earth's shape is. Where in the world did COVID come from? Maybe China. My girl got COVID on a shaved vagina. I'm going crazy, baby. Maybe I'm a lunatic, addicted to the moon. You're addicted to what my prick did to your womb. I'm inflicted with my addiction to shrooms, like the Illuminati is with Egyptians and tombs. On the news, all I see is witches with brooms. That bitch Maria Abramovich is one too. Yo, this is the Cool by Luke Bay fiasco. I'ma pour it on you till you taste Tabasco. Shot goes out to Jake the asshole. I can always depend on you to make me laugh, bro. Take a lasso, wrap around your head. You don't play this song on your channel, you're dead. I'm famished, so I ate the purple crayon, it's the best. I'm learning Spanish in less time than my English. Got that 1491 flat on my fingers. Dude. Sometimes I linger and creep in Hawthorne. Outside SpaceX eating popcorn. Run amok on them employees for shits and giggles. I'm annoying, destroying their fibs and riddles. The truth is brittle, but it'll make your brain grow. McToon, Skittles, taste the rainbow. In his house of pain, hip-hop Parejo. This is my life. Welcome to the Flatter-day Saints show. Got a brand new COVID-19 vagina flown to me all the way from China. No, I don't think that life is a simulation, even though it could be argued that we live in the Matrix. These globetrotters, all they want to do is debate with me about what the Earth's shape is. Ladies and gentlemen, that concludes our show. Until next time, Welcome to Flat Earth. Shirts in the back, snacks on the way, and ladies, don't forget your waters. I'm cracking up. Yo, I'm a one-man show. Peace. Yo.
Hey, that's pretty good, man. Question though, what was that line about Q?
The what?
What was that line about Q?
About the what? Oh, at the end, I'm waterboarding myself on the steps in front of the Freemasonic building. But
That was fun.
the line about McToon?
No, about Q.
Q. You mean QAnon?
Did I hear something about? Yeah, that's what I heard. Something about QAnon.
Oh no, I didn't say nothing about QAnon. I talked about a lot of different people: Maria Abramovich, Jake the Asshole, McToon,
I thought
Lupe Fiasco.
Somebody opened the door. I thought you said Q opened the door. I was about to be like, "Are you one of them Q?"
Oh no, Jackie. It was for my girlfriend Jackie. I'm pretending like me and her are fighting, so I'm using her voice and then my voice.
Okay.
Yeah. No, I just said because she's always trying to sentence correct me, like telling me this is, so.
That's good. Gotta have women like that in our lives.
I wrote the parts in for her to sing, but she got too nervous. So I just said, you know what, screw it. I'm just going to do a female voice in it. So.
There you go.
Yeah. I think the best song I have is Flat Nasty, though. I think that's the best one. My chick loves that one the best. That's like a total anti-COVID, making fun of COVID shot song. The Flat Nasty.
Yeah, you gotta make a SoundCloud, dude.
Yeah. Do you think I'll get more views on that than YouTube?
Well, you should have both. You should promote your SoundCloud on your YouTube and vice versa.
Yeah. My plan, if I don't get enough views, I'm just gonna put people in my songs and threaten their life if they don't play me on their channel. Basically, even people I like.
I mean, probably shouldn't do something like that.
SoundCloud is pretty good, man. And I would, I know you want to get your stuff on YouTube because that's where most people are, but fuck YouTube, fuck Google. You need to start getting away from that shit.
Yeah, for sure. I kind of joined it a little bit late. I'm like a couple of years after the prime of YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're well after it. I think maybe.
Yeah, I'm not. I suck at social media. I hate it. I'm always been the type of person who likes face to face, but
and that's good.
I'm learning, dude. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah,
dude. You guys, I know Australia's been a pretty big thing with all that COVID shit. Fucking the stuff that Max Egan shows, like he's got another one this morning, dude. It is getting violent over there. Like them fucking cops, dude. You really should. It's about to go down over there, like hard.
Well, Iggs needs to get out of there. Then he needs to come with us, sleep on my couch, man.
And we've especially in, I think it's Melbourne. I think is especially where it's really bad right now. But they got, I'm doing like the video that he showed this morning. Dude, the cops are now basically just hunting people down. Like they had people that were just walking, doing a peaceful walking protest or whatever, and they started retreating from the rubber bullets and stuff and tear gas and shit. And the cops are just chasing them down, like, and just firing at them indiscriminately at their backs as they're running away.
Jesus.
Those things are meant for crowd dispersal. Well, the crowd is dispersing, like.
So if you want to play his other one, Flat Nasty.
Yeah, I sent it to you. You're the only person I remember to send it to.
I know. I already posted it in the chat for you.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
911. Definitely COVID. Definitely. 9/11 September 19. 322,911 cases. Definitely COVID. Divide and conquer through video conference. I got COVID-19 while I was out flat smacking. I think I picked it up from a napkin. Walking around barefoot just like a madman. I'm just trying to stay grounded. Goddamn, man. I went from going in stores and people asking, "Excuse me, sir, would you like a mask on?" To all out, balls out, harassing. Put the mask on or get your ass on. Man, I'm just trying to buy Jackie some tampons. Now I'm not even allowed back in Vaughn's, or should I call it Werner Braun. These soup Nazis take it to a whole new level, which means curb, yo, speak of the devil. I got COVID-19 while I was eating some Jello. Speaking of Jello, shots out to Bill. Yo, speaking of shots, I ain't got mine still, cause it was never mine to begin with, so why would I get it? Cause all your friends did. If all your friends went and jumped off a cliff, yo, I go with them like 100%. That's why like 100% of the time, I like sipping my Corona with lime on 9/11 like 19 times. So for all you skeptics that say it's a lie, I got COVID-19 and I almost died. My aim was not to bring shame to this flat earth game, but I just made the curve level. My new name is Flat Nasty. My brain was never this insane until my cranium came from Lithuania. My new name is Flat Nasty. I'm the illest effie rapper to ever hold the mic. I had AIDS once and got COVID twice. I blessed the rains and got Ebola thrice. I'm so precise and yet so indecisive. I'm like a little kid with a light switch, hitting those switches like all night long. I'm off more often than I am on. Yo, how you like your coffee? Yo, I like it strong, like the presence of Cody Kaufman's mom, or the lack thereof. Watching his funeral, I had to laugh it up, just like I do with that Luna Lander stuff. I'm so outlandish, man, I'm cracking up. Like underground almonds, I'm fracking nuts. But I'll never chop it up as a loss, like getting caught stealing pants at Ross. Like the Patriots last season with Randy Moss. Like that 300-mile line that can't be crossed. So the next time they tell you, just go to the edge, tell them get on the knees and give you a blow to the head. Now leave me alone, I got COVID, I'm dead. My aim was not to bring shame to this flat earth game, but I just made the curve level. My new name is Flat Nasty. My brain was never this insane until my cranium came from Lithuania. My new name is Flat Nasty. My aim was not to bring shame to this flat earth game, but I just made the curve level. My new name is Flat Nasty. My brain was never this insane until my cranium came from Lithuania. My new name is Flat Nasty.
Flat Earth Saints, you are a worthless human being. You have no value. All of your talk, just a bell, clanging bell with no value.
That was McToon.
Fuck
That was
yeah,
him
dude.
talking. You know what I mean?
Yep. It sounded
yeah.
like him. I can smell
yeah.
his voice.
He hates me so bad. Classic.
Well,
he cannot
hates
stand
life.
me.
It looks like
He told me
Captain
that
Haircut.
I need to be locked up in an insane asylum. That I need to be taken off the street. That I'm a dangerous person. It was so funny.
Of course he does. He's a talentless worm, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, because at the end he had a little kid in his basement, and I asked him what the kid was doing in his basement. You know what I mean?
Well, he might have kids, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. True. That is true.
Flat
But
Nasty.
What?
That's the thing is, I'm pretty sure McToon doesn't have any kids. So what did he have kids doing in his
Yes, he
basement?
does. Yes, he does. Yes,
Well,
he
first of all, he said it wasn't his basement. He just pulled it up. Anyway, I started messing with him. I was like, so I told him, you can't recreate a rainbow inside without a convex mirror, or without a concave mirror inside the house. And he goes, yeah, I can. And he pulls up this thing of this little kid, looked like he's shackled to like this pipe, and it's all dark in there with like metal sheet metal on the wall. And somebody hits a light, and then the kid sprays this mist from this pipe, and it creates some kind of like fake rainbow. And he's like, admit you're a liar. Admit you're a liar. I'm like, first of all, I didn't see all sides of the room. I'm not admitting anything. That could be Photoshop. Admit you're a liar. I'm like, anyways, what was that? How'd you pull up a picture of a little kid that looked all scared, bro? What's up with that? And so he kept messing with me. So I'm like, oh, like, you guys don't be sipping that adrenochrome from them kids, huh? Dude, he was so mad. So he rage clipped me, right? As soon as he rage clipped me, he touched his left ear with his left index finger. And then when I was on Fight the Flat Earth channel and he rage clipped me, he did the same thing. The second he rage clipped me, he touched his left ear with his left finger. It was so weird. I was like, weird. I'm gonna have
Does
to make
that
a
mean
mix
he's
of both.
lying?
I don't know, but both of them admit that they get when I'm like, you guys are both paid from NASA somewhere or another, and they both admit they do, as if they're joking. But there's nobody who could have that many flat earthers give that much evidence, and then either because they're not stupid people, right? So it can only be a couple things. Like it's either they're getting paid to do whatever they're doing, and they have like ranked tiers, like a pyramid, like Simon Dan would be near closer to the top because he has more subscribers, and then it'd be like Fight the Flat Earth, and then like Team Skeptic, Irish Creamin', McToon, all those guys, they're all lower on the totem pole. But they all got to be getting paid. Like McToon would spend hours driving around in his car pretending to be a flat earther. For them to hate flat earth that much, they've got to be getting paid by the opposition somewhere or another. Do you see what I'm saying?
Check this out. I assumed that people said McToon got paid. I'm like, there's no way. But dude, he just did this video on me, and it's like, I don't even cuss, bro. Because in one of my videos, I'm saying, why do I keep getting censored? I don't even cuss in my streams, bro. He takes that out of context. Like I say, I never cuss. And then he goes through hours and hours and hours of videos going back over a year ago, pulling out anytime he can find me cussing. And he did the same thing recently with the eclipses. So if someone's not being paid, why are they literally watching like hundreds of hours of my
Is this you, Witsit?
Yeah.
Hey, what up, bro? You know what? I saw that video, and I took 2 hours last night going on every single comment on that video and posting my rap video that blasts him. So, you know what I mean? I know what you're talking about, though.
But think about that, bro. Like.
No, he is, for sure.
Yeah, hundreds of hours of content, bro. He's going through my like stand-up routines and stuff. I'm like, bro, you're getting paid, or someone's sending them to you already done, right? Like, that's insanity.
Bro, they post so much stuff about you. Like, you're one of their main favorite targets. And I'm like, in my mind, like, God, I wish they would just give me 5 minutes of posting something about me, because I would slaughter them in a song, bro. Even if I slaughtered them so bad in a song, they'd probably be able to take it to the DA and maybe get some type of harassment or criminal threat charges against them. But I would put it out there on a song. I'm going to anyways, just on the strength. I'm going to put them in like 3 lines, dog, and just murder them. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Seriously.
I thought about doing that, but like, I don't even want to say their names in a song because I don't want to give them any publicity or anything. Like, I thought about doing like a Flat Earth Shill, like a Globe Earth Shill diss track, but I don't want to say their names. Like, that's what they live for, you know. They need us to have anything.
Yeah, they definitely want your response.
Witsit, I'll do it just because, you know, that's me. Like, I like to diss everybody. Christopher Hawking, anybody I can diss, dog. Even if they're Stephen Hawking, whoever, whether they're dead or alive, bro. I'm putting them on the track, dog. You know what I mean?
Yeah, teach their own. I know that they literally need us. They have no life. They have nothing. Like, I could make content and have way more subs if I didn't talk about what I talk about. He could never make content without Flat Earth. You know, like, he literally needs us. So for me, it's like I keep ignoring him, so he keeps on putting out. He put another video of me out about talking about the eclipses and the Saros cycle. He's like begging me for a reaction because he literally needs the Flat Earthers. I think that's kind of the trick, is to distract us with these losers on the internet and not talk to new people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know, you're probably right. You know me, though. I just love that. I love that.
Doesn't he even send me emails? Doesn't he even send you emails with it? Or somebody does. Doesn't one of them? Trying to get you to answer questions or something?
Yeah, it's Simon Dan with his math.
Yeah, his problems.
You have 24 hours to answer this.
Like, a time limit's going to make you do anything.
In my opinion,
I don't know why it's far-fetched.
He's on the phone with it?
paid anyway.
Live off to say.
Yeah, sorry, I was ordering something. No, I get emails, death threats, DMs, personal messages on Facebook. If you go to Mia McToon's thing on Facebook, his name is Michael Toon. Dude, he literally has like 100 non-responded to messages in my PM. Like, he's a psychopath.
Yeah, I remember Kai saying on the debate, stay out my boyfriend's DMs. That was funny.
Hey, well, you know, I put him in most of my songs, bro, but maybe I should step it up a couple notches, you know what I mean? Hey, but, hey, what's it? Are you still in LA?
Yeah.
Do you ever want to come to the recording studio, bro? You know?
Yeah, I'd be down.
I got you, bro. You know what I mean? You don't even have to write. You could write even like 10 lines or whatever, you know what I mean? We can make whatever song you want to kind of make. You know, I'm working on another one with a Green Day beat. It's about how COVID left me and how I'm in love with her so badly. But I cheated on her with Moderna and how she like, I don't know, it's just another COVID song for the illest COVID album ever. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah, dude. Yep.
You know, so but I mean,
Love
we
it,
could
man.
do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, just like
We could do ones where like
song. Let me know what the idea is so I can kind of write accordingly. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll just like come up with something in my head and then we can do it.
I was even thinking of one where like we could go off and on the lines like where like you spit something real smart about flat Earth and I'm just like, yeah, what he said. Yeah, like, you know what I mean? You be going off, bro. And so I'll be like, do you know what I mean? Like something like that. I don't know. Whatever.
I'm down for whatever, bro.
Okay. Hey, well, when do you have free time, dog? Because I know you're leaving pretty soon, right?
That's a good question. I don't know that I'm leaving soon, but we're gonna hit Santa Barbara where the Black Swan was, and then we have to go to the U.S. Open. I guess what is the date? Today's Thursday or Friday?
Because that's where the recording studio is in Santa Barbara.
Friday. Okay, nice. Then we'll do that. We'll do that when we go up to Santa Barbara. We'll do it that way.
What day are you coming up here?
I don't know yet. I have to work out all the dates today. I have to map it out.
Are you going to be coming in the RV or your chick's car?
No. I have a truck. I'm not driving the RV.
Oh, okay. Because I said I was going to say like I can always pick you up, drop you off. I could even let you borrow one of my cars if you need it, bro.
I have a truck, bro. Should be good.
Okay, cool. I was just saying, you never know. But yeah, okay. For sure. What kind of beat do you want to rap to? Do you want to rap to something slower, something faster? Any particular beats you have in mind?
He needs a washboard.
A what? A washboard?
Yeah, he wants to do a washboard rap.
Okay. That's how you feel with it?
Yeah, dude. He took the words out of my mouth, dude.
Yeah.
I knew we were right on the same wavelength, man.
Oh, yeah.
Even though waves aren't things and don't have links, but yeah.
I tried to tell I tried to tell the same Jimmy Will up here. I tried to tell him that he didn't want to hear any of it.
Oh man, I have a video of Neil deGrasse Tyson Jaren just sent me trying to explain. Well, you asked the question, how does the speed of light go up once it goes through a medium that slows it down? Well, technically it never slows down and it's always going to the speed of light. It's just an absorption and then it just re-emitted and then it speeds back up. And it's like Jaren's like someone needs to tell him the speed of light's supposed to be distance over time. So I don't know. It's pretty hilarious. They don't know anything what light is, but they have to lie about it for the narrative. So what are you gonna do? I'll send you the video. It's on TikTok. It's like 30 seconds long. It's Neil deGrasse Tyson explaining how the speed of light can get faster and then slow back down, but never actually change.
This shit's ridiculous.
How does the speed of light, if it be wave, speed back up?
You tell me, man. You're the smart guy.
It's like we all live in a trailer park.
I said that it was an argument. Somebody was arguing, the same old thing. I'm getting tired of arguing. I think I'm just gonna filibuster the fucking thing from flat earthers. I'm just not gonna talk about it anymore.
Which I gotta say, dog, when you went up and started yelling at those Muslims, dog, I was like, this shit's funny because nobody does that here. Huh?
What the hell are you talking about?
No, it was black Hebrew Israelites in LA saying that all white people are of the devil.
I just said?
Nothing.
What the? You just come randomly into the conversation, right into what I was saying with some.
Oh, my bad, bro. My bad.
The fuck, dude?
Sorry, bro. No disrespect, big homie. I'm sorry.
You just concentrate on getting the washboard.
I got you, dog. All right.
So you said, dude, I think the trick is to get us to debate the Globe Zealots, dude. I think that's the trick. I think that they don't want us focusing on new people.
I don't know. What's up with you, man? I haven't seen you in the Coons age, even though I watch your videos, man. You're all over it.
Yeah, I'm in LA right now, and I'm about to do like 4 straight days of activism, and then keep it pushing.
Sweet, cool.
I guess, man. I guess same old thing, you know.
Are you gonna do a live stream?
Yeah, I'm gonna do a live stream called "The Hills Have Eyes" tonight. It's actually gonna be pretty crazy, and then I'm gonna live stream like Santa Barbara and the U.S. Open surf competition.
Okay. Well, fuck. Are you gonna be when you come up here, bro? Let's meet up because I grew up here. I could show you all kinds of places around here.
What, Santa Barbara?
Santa Barbara and Ventura. Yeah, I've lived here my whole life in the 805, so I know. Huh?
That sucks.
Yeah, I know, right? It does suck. You know what I mean? But it is what it is.
Santa Barbara's quite beautiful.
I'm not ashamed of where I'm from.
No, I'm
not
trolling you, man.
proud of it either. I mean, we all live on a flat Earth, dog. You know what I mean?
We're ashamed for you, man.
What?
I said we're ashamed for you.
Yeah. But California is beautiful, though, man. You know what I'm saying? Like when you get here, you're like, oh, I know why people stay. It's lost its mind, but it is really pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful out there in Santa Barbara. I loved it. I'm just messing with you, dude, Mr. Washboard. Just messing with you.
I just haven't really. I'm not in the financial position to be able to move. Plus, truthfully, dude, I've been in and out of the system for so long that, like, you know, I mean, I'm stuck here still on probation and shit. It is what it is, dude. You know what I mean? I'm a pretty ghetto hood. I'm a hood flat earther, dude. But still, I represent. I'll fight for this. You know what I mean?
I mean, when it comes to a financial situation to move, isn't it like super expensive to live there? Like, if you might not think you got the money to do it, but you go somewhere cheaper where it's cheaper living, and you're all good.
You'd think that, but I know people that own big houses that I've just over the years that I've just lived in and rent rooms for cheap. You know, I sometimes I've done even paintings and canvases for people to pay rent. So, you know. I do the song and dance, the drawing and the art thing. No.
You live in the van down by the river.
Yeah, right.
No, not to you, to the Lou. What if I'm in California? I lived in a van down by the river.
Dude, I know a lot of people that do, dude.
Seriously, I mean, even living in a van down by the river, like just everything that you have to buy to live is expensive there. Like you could get a bigger van. You know, or something. I don't know.
Get a bigger van.
Yeah, dude, I've had gangbangers come up and swing on me and pull knives on me for talking about flat Earth. Because I'll go up to the gangbangers and the homeless people with the tattoos on their face and be like, "Hey, check this out, bro. Ever since we're little, we've been lied to." And if some people get crazy over that stuff. It's, you know what I mean. And I'm not the biggest guy. I'm pretty small.
We never
so people.
That.
Yeah, I experience it on a weekly basis. You know,
just come in here on an hourly basis in here.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, people aren't as tough in real life, though. People get real big and bad on Discord, bro.
Oh, yeah.
They like to throw your tripods and cameras and shit. That's what I seen.
That's crazy, bro.
Hey,
but that guy waited till I wasn't looking. He waited till I wasn't looking and threw it and ran away, you know?
Yeah.
Winston, I was standing by your camera for a half hour, and then I go over and talk to Chris, and that's when he does it. I'm like, this guy, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got screenshots of him, but it's not like what am I going to, I don't care, you know, but he's just a goober.
Who is the guy?
Yeah, I would never call the cops on somebody.
Holy shit, man. You trying to get your 10,000 words out, Latter-day Saints? I can't get a word in edgewise and shit.
Okay, I won't talk no more. I'm sorry.
No, you don't need to shut up totally, but Jesus, calm down. I just had a question for Witsit. Who was the guy eating the grapefruit, and he was eating the grapefruit, and he had half of it sticking off his friggin' lip?
That's Latter-day Saints, bro.
Oh, was that you?
Guilty as charged.
Just like eating it, pill and all, right in front of the camera.
I got him now. Okay, I marked you. All right, Latter-day Saints, go ahead.
I like the way you're like, hey, who's the dickhead that did this stupid thing? Oh shit, that's you.
Guilty as charged.
That is so ironic. I would ask that, right?
I made sure that I stood out of the way so you could still see Witsit, though. But that was a tasty grapefruit, dude. You know what I mean?
Aren't you impressed that I knew what it was?
Dude, yeah, I am actually. You know what I mean? I give you a flat salute and a Latter-day thanks. Straight up. Hey, but hey, on the real Witsit, I'm starting a thing that's gonna be called Flat Out of Compton, where I'm gonna go down to Grape Street and through the projects in Compton and talk to the gang members, and I'm gonna bring a wagon with me with ice cold waters and hand them out to people. I don't know if you'd be down to do that.
Maybe.
All right. Well, I figure since you're down here, and you're pretty big and intimidating looking, I might just go down there by myself though and talk to them if I can't get nobody.
Are you armed?
I was about to say,
I don't even wear shoes. I walk everywhere barefoot too. I'll just go up and talk to them. You know what I mean?
I'll probably rock with a 9mm. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I was asking.
Yeah, man. Because
armed?
Next time I went out there, bro, I heard shots fired all day, man.
Hey, but remember when Jesus' disciples went out, he told them not to bring a sword or anything.
He said, "Sell your cloak if you don't have a sword." That's what he said. He said, "If a man doesn't have a sword, he better sell his cloak and get one."
Oh, okay.
Well,
I don't
selling
know.
it right before he had to get picked up by the cops.
And
So
John
the sword.
talked about putting the armor of God.
What about a compound bow?
Shit. Yeah. No, I'm not really into weapons and anything. I just try to go about the peaceful way, and I feel like I won't even plan what I say. It'll just come. The words will come to me when I go down there. But you don't see too much of the flat earthers going through like the projects in gang populated areas and talking to the people. And those people really need flat earth, man. Some of them are really open to it, they really are. And they're hurting
The thing
inside
is as well. Sorry, I just wanted to add. The thing is as well is the people who are kind of the quote unquote losers in life, losers in the system, tend to be more open to the system being lying to them and all this kind of stuff. So in my opinion, it seems to be a lot harder to talk to like a lawyer or a doctor because like the system suits them, and so they don't really kind of think about how the system is wrong because it seems to work well for them.
I agree with you 100%. 100%.
Yeah, that's how it is everywhere, dude. Like the people that are not really successful, they're much more open to the truth, which is just like a narrative the Globers are going to take and say, well, look, it's because they're not educated. But it's not. It's just pride. It's like the pride of success.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
I could give two shits what Globers think, though. These are souls that are lost. You know what I mean?
I was gonna say, just approach him, just approach him in a kind of way. Just be careful on how you talk to him, bro, because it's all about how you speak to him. Because you speak
absolutely,
to him,
bro, absolutely.
And you think they're gonna think that you're coming at them sideways, bro, and they're gonna fucking knife you or shoot you, bro. So just be careful.
If I come at them sideways, absolutely. My intentions are 100% pure, though.
Yeah, I mean, I know how it goes, man. Like, believe it or not, I'm not a little. Yeah, I got some experience. I don't know how it goes. Actually, like I'm more accepted in the hood than like where crypto's saying, where there's a bunch of lawyers. I get attacked more by the lawyers and the quote unquote scientists than like in the hood, right? Because I know how to relate, and you just don't act like you're better than them. It's pretty simple.
Yeah. I've had straps pulled up on me, bro, and you just. Yeah, sorry.
I mean,
No,
dude,
you're
I've
right.
had
You're right, though. You're white.
had a
Are
few
you white?
people pull guns. I've had some people pull guns on me in my time, and I knew right then they weren't going to do anything because if they were, they wouldn't pull a gun. They'll just shoot you or pistol whip you. So anybody that pulls a gun, they're just showing you their scary stickers. That's all.
I was raised whenever you pulled something out like that, or like say or unsheath a knife or a sword, you make sure you use that tool. Like
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally. I totally agree with you.
And I don't find that. I mean, it can be used as a weapon. Anything can be used as a weapon. A pencil can be used as a weapon, but these are tools. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just think the strongest weapon is the truth and pure intentions.
Well, I mean,
that's my opinion. I might be wrong.
Like I said, they're just tools. They're just used as weapons.
Yeah.
Anything can be used as weapons. My hands can be used as weapons. My feet can be used as weapons. Right?
Yeah.
These are just tools.
True.
Okay, so I'll pull my pants up to like over my waist and tuck my shirt in, and I'll talk really nerdy with my glasses and my lab coat, and I know they'll love me. They'll love me, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Hey, Witches, I gotta say, when you went up to those dudes, that was pretty funny, dude.
Yeah, they said all white people are the devil. Oh, a bunch of clowns.
It's so funny, dude.
Brilliant. Yeah, I had a guy the other day I was talking to, and we were just kind of talking politics, and he's got kind of like a big chip on his shoulder about slavery and how white people are the devil because slavery is basically his thing. And he was saying like, what was it? Some shit about how like we've got to genocide all whites in order to end racism. And he thinks that this is an anti-racist position, like these are the kinds of people we're dealing with, the people that can rationalize genocide, right? These are the kinds of people who believe in the globe and they believe in all this other bollocks as well.
Dude, this guy said that all white people were the devil, and he's using the Bible to justify it. And I was like, Galatians 3:28. He read it out, it debunks him. But then I'm like, dude, you're just racist, bro. He's like, yeah, I'm racist. And guess where I learned it from? White people.
Yeah. This is the thing. It's like these people will take their own flaws and just go, but it's actually you did it first, all right? Yeah. Which is, I mean, it couldn't. It's a classic textbook definition of projection. But normally people don't realize when they're projecting. Whereas that dude that you just mentioned sounds like he knows he's projecting and he doesn't care. Which is like, what do you do with someone like that?
Dude, you just make a video and then walk away.
Yeah, exactly.
I got some good footage of you yelling with those dudes. Wait,
yeah, that was pretty funny.
It was so loud, bro. I could only be there for a couple of minutes, and my eardrums. I'm like, dude, these guys are screaming so loud. But I got to give you credit on that. You just went right up to all of them. And all the dudes had on like their little Freemason like aprons and stuff. I told the big dude, I was like, do you guys believe that the earth is a ball or the flat earth? He's like, nah, it's a globe. All like serious. I'm like, oh my God. So funny.
Yeah, no. I'm like, oh, you're going to teach us about the book and you don't even know what it says about the earth yet?
Yeah. Joke. You guys are all into that black militant, but you're following some old pedophile Jesuit priest belief about a cartoon ball. You don't even know, dude.
Well, that's the funny thing about, just if we're going to stick on this subject for a bit, the funny thing about critical race theory is that it was invented basically in the Frankfurt School in Germany. So these people are following, because a lot of people don't really distinguish between, say, like Jews and whites. Yeah. So they are following what they would call white racism and then justifying it because of white racism. Like, the irony is unbelievable. And they just chill with it.
Well, we're being trolled, right? Like whoever put that out and they made everyone talk about critical race theory in the schools recently, like they're just trolling. They're like, they don't even know what they're arguing for.
Yeah,
exactly. They don't realize Black Lives Matter. They're talking about black magic. That's what they're talking about.
No, all this bollocks is to get everyone fighting with each other over stuff that doesn't really matter. That's what it really is about. It's like, you over there, you with different pigmentation to you people, you fight and then no one's going to worry about, you know, the controllers because you guys are now fighting over this shit.
Yeah, it's the same divide and conquer tactics. Like
early on with the BLM thing, you know, a lot of people were like, no, I don't agree with Black Lives Matter. All lives matter. You know, and that became a racist stance to have, to say that all lives matter.
Do you know where the whole taking a knee thing comes from, though? Colin Kaepernick took a knee, and then Derek Chauvin took a knee supposedly on Floyd's neck.
Kaepernick's a mixed man, right? He's like,
yeah, but what I'm saying is, do you know where that whole taking a knee thing comes from? It comes from the martyrdom of Hiram Abiff. So supposedly the first plane on 9/11 hit the first building at 8:46. Then 2012 they made a movie called 8:46, right? Well, then Dave Chappelle came out with a movie on Netflix called 8:46, and he says Derek Chauvin kneeled on that dude's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds, right? So coincidentally, 8:46 was also the time the sun set in Minneapolis on May 25th, 2020, the day that George Floyd supposedly died. So the whole 8:46 thing is a sunset ritual, and they're doing that over and over again. It's basically the setting of the sun. They worship that.
That wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah, did you guys hear about George Floyd and the cop both being Freemasons too? And they work
They're
together?
all Freemasons.
They were
The
part
cop
of
was
the same
taking
lodge
the cop was
and
taking a
whatever.
knee on his neck. He was gesticulating.
Yeah, I heard that. I don't know if I didn't verify it, but I heard that.
Well, George Floyd has a Freemason tattoo on his chest.
So George Floyd's son, in an interview, his name's Quincy Mason.
I was still talking before, like to what Crypto was saying is, and it may be almost cliche because we all hear it so much, but it's always divide and conquer. It's always pitting us against us instead of us against them. We all have the same common enemy. People need to fucking wake up to it because shit is really getting bad, and all the future generations that are fucked if we don't fucking come together and realize that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of these people are legitimately possessed.
But I'm just saying, I see it a lot even within the group of so-called truthers, where they fall prey to this tactic where all of a sudden you got it. You know, they're being racist. As far as they're like, no, like fuck those BLM. They're getting rid of. They just want whites to go away and blah blah blah. Well, when you start engaging in that conversation, you're falling for the trap. Like,
yeah, there's no way to win. Yeah, there's no winner in those combos.
Well, I think it's quite easy to win. You just say, well, I don't agree with. This is one of the things I was saying to this other guy I was talking to. Like, I don't agree with using government force to forcibly genocide people, right? But I don't have to take the opposite position, because his again, these are generally false dichotomies, right? So his one position, like, so he set up the straw man, the Nazi straw man, where there are all these people and they believe they're superior and that's why they want to survive. It's like that itself is a straw man. Wanting to survive is not evidence of supremacist mindset, right? So that's already a bad straw man. And then at that point, he then says that therefore they should be genocided in order to solve their supremacy. It's just like, Jesus Christ, you've got two completely ridiculous positions, and I don't agree with either of them. And that's the way you deal with that. You point out the ridiculousness of the positions and that you don't agree with either. You point out the false dichotomy. That's how you win that conversation.
Yeah, I agree. Like, what you're like, not taking the opposite position, because that's how you lose, and then Lou would be right. But if you just point out the stupidity and all of it, right? But like in that situation, they were beside our flat earth table just screaming about white people being the devil. So I just went up there and invoked like different scriptures to expose them. You know what I'm saying? But in general, there is no winning that conversation with them. I mean, it's a false dichotomy. You know what I'm saying? Like, but that's the whole thing, is everything they ever tell you is a false dichotomy. Everything that is in the news is a false dichotomy. But this is why it gets people. People people will agree with whichever side benefits them. So it just appeals to pride of the individual. So it's I'm black, so I like this side. I'm white, so I argue this side. I'm not genetically modified, so I argue this side. So it's all about the pride. They appeal to the pride of people. It's like, oh well, yeah, well, since I'm handicapped and a minority and a female that is transgender, I love identity politics, right? So it's all about pride. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a victim
But
mentality too.
what's interesting
they're
as well
always
is
a
that sorry, you go first. Go.
No, you're okay. I was just saying they're always a victim. Like they always want to play the victim and that they need special treatment.
Yeah. Well, I was going to kind of add to that. Basically, like the term identity politics is redundant anyway, because all politics is based on identity. Whenever you're talking about, say, should we tax, I don't know, wealthy people, middle class people, poor people, those are all identities. And when you're talking about, oh, okay, so should milk farmers receive subsidies? Well, that's an identity. Should, I don't know, beef farmers be given 20% off their fuel bills because they need to transport their meat to supermarkets? Again, it's an identity. All politics is about identity. The problem is that they've taken it and made it extremely poisonous and given it a heavy social justice lens, which is why it's now so toxic, you know, whereas before it wasn't. It was about the genuine interests of people.
Yeah, for sure. But it's just funny. It's funny, like how low level of a trick that is. It's like we're treated like animals. It's like, look, they'll argue this as long as it makes them the victim and they get some juice in the society. It's very low level tricks.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, they've done it because most people are low level, right? People aren't seeing this for the fucking stupid trick that it is. Like, we can discuss it because we see through it, but most people are at that level, unfortunately. And again, that's why it's so hard to wake these people up. They don't see it.
It's kind of funny that we're talking about this because very rarely do I actually flip through the channels on TV. But late last night, I turned it on, and all of a sudden on PBS, I saw Alex Jones. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? Sure enough, it's a propaganda piece about how disinformation controls or preys on the weaknesses that people just have naturally, and then they start showing these experiments about how easy it is to control, like what a person thinks, and because of this identifying as in an us versus them kind of a way, where it's like right now I just said we, instead of like. Or whatever. It's anyway. I don't need to go all into the program, but it's just kind of coincidental that I just watched something about that. And like they know damn well what they're doing. They're even showing the masses how it works. And then they still use it and then they still use it as a way to separate us versus them. Us who fell victim to this disinformation versus them who know how to discern reality from insanity and whatever it is. It's.
But then, Lou, I just want to say this, I'm about to go in a second. There's a second level to this, which I think virtually everyone has missed. And it just occurred to me the other day. This is how they get people really isolated. First of all, they split you into a group, right? Now you're a black person, now you're a white person, now you're this, that, the other. But the second part of it, which isolates you, is that they tell you in-group preference is bad, right? So now you're in a group, but you're not allowed to actually like any of those people. And so now you have to be on your own because that's the only solution. If you have an in-group preference, then you're a sexist or you're a racist or you're an Islamophobe or whatever, because you're preferring people more similar to you. And a good example here would be flat earthers, right? We are a group, like it or not, right? So if in-group preference is bad, and I shouldn't prefer talking to you guys because, if I talk to flat earthers and I prefer talking to them over globers, I'm, I don't know, a globist, right? Then obviously I have to isolate myself in order to solve this psychological issue with globism. And this is how they get people to isolate themselves from groups.
Technically we're all flat earthers. Even if you believe it or not, like if we all lived in Trailer Park,
I wasn't talking about the actual reality of Earth. I was talking about the psychology of humans and how they manipulate us.
True that. Hey, you got a dope ass accent, bro. If you want to spit a couple lines on my thing, I appreciate it.
I did one
You
rap.
really
I don't know
do.
if that's too much.
I like
Yeah,
your
maybe,
accent.
maybe. Yes,
All right, it's up
send
to
it to
you.
me. I can do something. Yeah, send me something.
Okay.
But look, I gotta go, man. But yeah, peace and have a good night, guys.
All right.
Later, Crypt.
Is anyone keeping up with this La Palma volcano crash? Apparently it's escalating. And I don't know how much I want to believe the fear porn about the mountain falling into the ocean and leading to a tsunami.
Yeah, we're all gonna die on the East Coast.
I haven't heard anything about it. Where's this volcano? And
Yeah, it's in the Canary Islands. It's been erupting for, I don't know, like 2 weeks now, but there's an institute, like a volcanic research institute down there called Invulcan that said that it went off the charts. Like the swarm of earthquakes and the pressure under the volcano, even after it erupted, is actually going up, meaning it's going to escalate more. And if it escalates more and it erupts and it sheds like 500 billion tons of mass into the ocean, it could supposedly make a tsunami that would put like 80 million people underwater on the East Coast.
on the East Coast, you're saying? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
on the East Coast of the United States.
Yeah, it'd be a lot like the crazy thing that happened with the Indonesian tidal waves.
Yeah.
It'd be like that, guys.
On one of my
I mean,
channels.
it could
last
happen.
night.
Yeah, I mean, like, what better way to distract from all the jab stuff? That would
I
be
know. Isn't it great?
perfect misdirection.
Well, it's sort of coincidental also is they had some huge like protests and going on in Melbourne last week, and then sure enough, like the following day they had that 6.0 earthquake that happened in Melbourne right where the protests were happening.
Yeah.
That happened to that did the job of kind of stopping whatever movement they had going on.
For sure, yeah. We know
Mic
that you
check.
can make earthquakes. Like, didn't Tesla made earthquakes? He had like a resonant machine that could make an earthquake anywhere.
Yeah, well, and it as far as I know, I don't really know except for what I heard from Max Egan about it, but they don't really get earthquakes there. Like,
oh, never.
So this is like a freak thing to happen, and then the timing is impeccable.
Bro,
Yeah, they call it rare.
All weather is
They call it
modification.
rare.
Yeah, we have
All
completely
weather
dominion over the weather. Like,
is
there are so
modified.
many patents and D-class documents from the 60s where they could stop a hurricane in its tracks, make tornadoes, make it flood anywhere, make an
I have
earthquake.
a whole booklet with over 200 weather modification patents dating back from the 1890s. They can do everything.
I have that too.
Hello. Mic check. Hey, hello, mic check.
Yeah.
Yep, we can hear
Yeah.
you.
According to one of my channels last night, there was like 23 or 26 volcanoes erupting.
Yeah,
all
this
at
is
the same time right now.
This is the grand solar minimum. This is what happens. Like when the solar activity like chips down, you get a massive increase in volcanoes, eruptions. It might be what kicks off like full on biblical tier floods too. So who knows?
Oh, good.
You can find a lot of papers on it. If you look up like solar activity or geomagnetic activity and earthquakes and volcanoes, there's a ton of stuff on it.
I want to see
I'm
it
just gonna
all
kind of
go
wait and see.
down. Want you to flush it all away.
Yeah, Lou, little Maynard.
Well, like, because I know like the hidden history stuff, like civilization being rebooted. We had the mud floods, like all the buried like Capitol buildings where like the windows are basically on the ground, showing that there's more space. Like, what causes those mud floods? Like, what could possibly do that? And the only thing that really makes sense is like massive biblical floods, and then that turns into mud, and then that goes over
Yeah,
countries.
but this is what you're doing. You're reifying a story that you were told about something that you cannot explain.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
also
It's all
rainbows
speculation.
as well. Rainbows are a promise he'll never flood us again.
Oh my God! See, how can you believe shit like
I
that?
have a theory, right? So, last 20 months, right, carbon dioxide emissions went drastically down because we are all trapped inside, and now suddenly all these volcanoes are erupting, carbon dioxide emissions goes up, and then, oh no, we're not going to get our quotum again. Guys, you need to stay indoor.
Oh, they're talking about banning flights because of carbon dioxide going up and
Right.
making it so the little people can't fly anymore. The little people don't get to fly, but the rich,
Hey guys,
can
I
go
know
into
how they found out
space.
how to get to space. I finally figured it out. They just used the holes in
Oh,
the
you did?
ozone layer.
Nice.
That's all it is.
Yeah, but
that's
the
probably
hole
true.
didn't show up till the 80s.
When you say space, are you talking about Kevin Spacey?
Something.
No.
How did they
Well,
get
it's
to the
interesting.
hole?
See, I'm a bit of an art student, and I look back at the art that shows that there was a lot of electrical phenomenon going on in the sky. 500,000 years ago, I guess you could say.
Yeah, there's a lot
So
of
it's
recordings
really
of it.
interesting that if you look at art, and if you look at those buildings, of course, and if you look at then the archaeology of some of the Indian drawings, all the same kind of things are looking like maybe there is something that electrical that comes, and maybe it is part of the sun cycle, or who knows?
Yeah, have you
Who
heard of the
knows?
Nuremberg sky battle? Like how they were supposedly just like
Yes, it's
red
an
flashlight
interesting
orbs?
picture. Yeah, and there's
Right.
lots of reports that people did see. There's not just the art, there's documentation that says people saw things that are very strange that we are maybe even starting to witness now that they're trying
Yeah.
to cover up. Who knows?
You know what's
Hey,
really
I don't mean to be
interesting, too?
rude. I'm gonna let you guys go. It was good talking to you guys.
All right.
Yeah, later,
Nice
man.
to talk again, Latter-day.
Yeah, you know
Are
what's
you
really
still on the phone?
is that a lot of these sightings, these like new
I'll
orbs
hit
in
you
the
up on
sky
your phone,
sightings.
Witsit. Thank you guys. Bye.
Yeah,
Thanks,
later,
man.
buddy.
Later.
A lot of those stories about those orbs appearing in the sky happened during grand solar minimums too. So there might be a connection between that and the recent government
And I
attempts
think,
to disclose UFOs.
yeah, and I think that's what we're looking at, is that it's a repeat of history again. Something is about to come. Maybe they know what the cycle is, probably, or somewhat close to it. They kind of know, maybe. And that's why they're pulling all this crap now. So, got to get control before it happens. Whatever's about to happen.
Yeah, for sure. According to their documents, the next decade or so is going to be a good time. Going to be
Yay.
top-down authoritarian control, mass surveillance, mining crypto from your body, all kinds of terrifying shit.
Well, maybe that's the only way they think they're going to survive, is if they turn themselves into transhuman crazy
Yeah.
machines. Who knows?
Well, I mean, like,
Bunch of
they all have
nuts.
bunkers all over the world. Like, New Zealand is just like one big span of billionaire bunkers. And
Yeah, but you know what? They've been having problems with those lately. They've been having flooding issues. So
Ooh.
maybe the Bible's right when they claim that they call out for God to crush them inside the hills.
Yeah,
and things,
I never understood
maybe,
that. Like,
because they're drowning. Because they're drowning instead.
yeah.
Drowning's
What I don't
not real
understand.
fun when it goes slow.
Yeah, like, why would you want to, if we have like global mud floods or flooding, like, why would you want to go underground? You'd be buried under 100, like, however many feet of mud. Like, you could never get out. You'd just die in a coffin, basically.
Well, Bible also says that the islands are going to go underneath the waters, right? It said they're going to be shaken out of their place. So if they're out on an island in a bunker on an island, they're just going to get submerged anyway.
The idea usually for hiding underneath a mountain is to avoid like radiation and shit like that. So and it would be a bad place to be with flooding or earthquakes.
Exactly. And so they would cry out for the rocks to fall on them. Uh-huh. Yeah. That may be what's going to happen.
I don't know. At this point, I want any chaos now. Like, whatever will help institute good mass change, I'm all for. Like, just the same old thing continually happening over and over. And then all these predictions about these like events that are supposed to come, like all the QAnon crap, and it just never comes to fruition. I've been trying to wrap my head around the purpose of all that and like what they're trying to prepare us for. Because they just put out an article like a couple of weeks ago saying like, oh, there could be a geomagnetic storm that wipes out the internet as we know it. Like, would it really be the sun? Could it be an EMP instead? And that's what they're going to say it is. And then they're going to rebuild society on top of that. Like, there's so many psyops and misdirections, and it's so hard to wrap your head around all of it.
All I know is it's coming to a head soon.
I hope so. I kind of want some full-blown anarchy time, personally.
Evening, guys. I
Oh,
just
don't
kind of
wish for
forgot
that. Don't wish for that. But at the same time, I understand. I
Okay.
want it to get going. If it's going to happen, let's do it now. Let's get it going.
Yeah, let's just get
Get it over with.
Get it over with. Agreed.
I get it over with. Let's do it.
What's the article that you guys are talking about? Sorry.
There's if you look up an article like geomagnetic storm knocks out the internet, I'll put it in VC chat for you.
Cheers.
True anarchy
Well, that
is
was-
not real anarchy is not complete chaos and stealing from each other. True anarchy is helping one another and less government and so on and so forth.
I agree when we don't have meddlers in it. Yep. It's man ruling himself in freedom and taking responsibility.
Yeah, people of a society need to have a real understanding of what justice is. I know it's been mentioned in here before, but there's a really good book called The Law by Frederick Bastiat, which would be a really good book for anybody to read regarding justice.
I just got that book on recommendation from Mimas.
Yeah, and keep in mind when you're reading the book that it was written in like the 1840s. But he breaks down very well what actual justice is and rights of the people given by the creator. Basically, the Declaration of Independence was fantastic, but what happened from that is not so fantastic, and it requires the vigilance of the people within a society understanding what their actual rights are and what justice actually is, because justice can only be restitution for somebody who has actually violated somebody's rights through, stealing from them or harming or injuring them. It's very, very simple.
No victim, no crime.
Right, but man has complicated it. And once you have an apparatus of government that is in the business of selling justice to different aspects of society, those different aspects of society seek through government and through law their own restitution or their own kind of union or way to exploit the law for their own benefit. I.e.,
I would agree. There is no real justice anymore. There isn't justice. It doesn't happen. Not at all.
Yeah, it's beneficial for different groups within a society to utilize the law to their benefit, and that's what we have right now. And we have so much segregation and so many different subsects and groups within society, and you can see how easily the controllers pit those against one another, and each one of them feels victimized and wants to use the law in their favor without understanding what actual real justice is. And that's the problem we have. Nobody understands true justice.
No, it's divide and conquer again. Works really well.
Yeah, divide and conquer is a symbiotic relationship with the law.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is anyone paying attention to the election audit stuff that's coming out today? I think Witzett's right about the Trump return theory. Like, he'll be the Antichrist, but he's going to kind of be the pseudo savior that brings justice to these people, and then everyone's just going to worship the guy, and then that's the Antichrist New World Order.
Yeah, I look at it as like a Hitler 2.0 series is what we're about to witness. I have a bad feeling because that's why they're making this administration that's currently in look so crazy.
I know,
because it will cause a cry out for that kind of control that will come next. So
Yeah, exactly.
it's
Everything
a
is
good
so,
possibility.
exactly. Everything is so orchestrated. That's why I think that's why they're pushing us so hard right now. That's why Biden gave such a toxic speech about patients wearing thin. They know damn well that that's gonna trigger us, and that's gonna make our patients wear very thin. It puts us on tilt, and when things get really bad, like yeah, they're gonna pull it back with bringing Trump back in. He's gonna be like, no, we're gonna this is ridiculous. You know, he's gonna pull back some of these tyrannical policies that have been put into place, and people are gonna go, yeah. You
They're
know,
gonna be like, yeah, Trump.
They're gonna say,
Right.
"See, you guys were wrong about Trump." Yeah,
One
yeah.
thing to remember: who signed the bill for Operation Warp Speed? Trump.
Right. You got to. He also.
Oh,
He
he
removed the emergency order.
He
Yeah.
fast tracked the vax. He fast tracked 5G. He
all
also
there.
said. He also said when it comes to, you know, possible domestic terrorists and stuff like that, to seize guns first and due process second.
Yeah, he did. He was very adamant about that. He was okay with red flag laws. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's not on the people who stand behind him the most. Just ignore all of those things. They pretend like it didn't happen, like he didn't say it, or like he only said it because that's what the people wanted to hear. You know, because he's playing 5D chess. Like,
Yeah,
you guys are fucking so narrow-minded.
The like, oh,
Yeah.
he's just saying it just to say he's playing 5D chess with him. That is the biggest fucking cope of all time.
I know, it's terrible, man. Every
Well-
time I hear that, I'm like, nobody plays 5D chess like Trump, of course.
Well, that's why they use the left-right paradigm, right? Because it gets people into one camp or the other, and they're always looking for a solution within the same system, which means the system is never going to go away. There's never going to be an actual solution because people are convinced that the solution that is needed is from the side that they agree with. And it
I
just
just
goes
wonder-
on and on ad infinitum.
I just wonder what kind of weed Biden and Trump smoke together when they're not in the public arena. Because I'd
They're
like
on
to get some of that.
stimulants.
Be some good high-powered sativa.
Dude, they are for sure on stimulants.
Yeah, it's
Like,
stimulants. I know.
Didn't Trump like say he slept like 3 hours a night, you drink like 12 Diet Cokes a day, nothing but fast food? Like, there's no way a 70, 80-year-old man can function eating and living like that without stimulants. Like, he's on that military.
The stimulants
grade
would
shit.
kill him at some point too. So he's probably got. I mean, he's probably on a bunch of stuff, guys. They can afford whatever kind of drugs and stuff that they want to have.
They said
Including-
the same thing about Hitler later on. Remember, they called him using meth and all kinds of stuff that they call it now.
Well,
that he was doing,
it is known that at the very least the kamikaze pilots were on some kind of stimulant. They admitted that.
Oh yeah. Well, your pilots in America are still on. You guys don't
Oh,
know
yeah.
it. We
I'm
gave
just
go
saying-
pills.
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, I guess you could call it common knowledge. The kamikaze pilots. That's what got them to the point where they didn't care about anything, is because they were on meth.
Same with the Blitzkrieg, though, moving so fast with ground troops. You just didn't see that until they were on all meth. They had it in their kits. Yeah, and we do it now to our pilots. Most people don't know we give them what we call go pills, which is just a legal form of methamphetamine that's prescribed. And then when they come home and can't sleep and they have to go on another mission, we give them a no-go pill. A sedative.
It's also a
It's a terrible
Everyone's
cycle.
on
Terrible
drugs.
cycle.
Yeah,
It's also got a microdose of hallucinogenics in it too, which is supposed to heighten the reaction times.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Mushrooms. do
It's
that.
awful, guys. It's awful what we've done to our military people. It really makes me sick as a medic.
The jabs too. Like you get like 12 in one day. All the new
That's
experiments.
what happened to me. Yeah. Happened to me. Yeah.
Talk about a hangover.
It's terrible. We were the guinea pigs. We were the guinea pigs for what's being done now to everybody else. So, yeah.
Well, they're saying
Get
fuck
ready.
no now. Like you got like half the military that's refusing to get it still. Like what happens when you lose half the military over not getting a jab?
Well,
That's
they
one
join
way to weed out
militias
who you
and we
don't
take
want,
our
I
country
guess.
back.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe. Or Trump comes to power using that. That's the big scary thing. You know, how does this play out? Who knows?
I think the one big catalyzing event that would cause that shift and like all the military people to defect in a way is if he finally came out and said, "Okay, I made a mistake. The genetic engineering is bad. We got to stop. Like it's harming people." Like if he ever came out and did that, that's what's going to be the flip in the military. Because then it will become like a crisis that immediately needs to be solved, and that the current administration is genociding people. Like it would give a sense of urgency that would justify it. That's all it would take. So it could happen
Yeah.
tomorrow. It could happen in a month.
Create the problem, offer the solution. It'll happen. Some kind of chaos. It's got to come. It's gonna happen.
It's obviously not going well. Like the swine flu jab that was like what back in 1980 something. 3 people died and they pulled that from the market. We have
I think it was
15,000.
87. No, I
Well,
think it
yeah.
was 87 or 88. Yeah, and then they pulled it with 47 people. I think it
I
was.
thought it was.
only
I thought it was like 79. Like,
Well, the first time they said that they were gonna pull it was after 3, unexpectedly, and then as more people were still getting it, they found out it was up to 87. But like 3
more
is all
people
it took
died.
for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, all it took was 3 people for them to go, okay, this was a
76.
mistake. Now we have
And there was a bunch of
15,000.
people that were damaged forever. I mean, literally,
Yeah,
completely
narcolepsy.
done.
I know someone who got the swine flu jab and still has narcolepsy 30 years later.
Yeah, it caused polio-like syndrome in a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh God, don't get me started on polio. That's just DDT.
Oh, I know.
Straight up. That whole
Straight up
history,
poisoning people.
dude, that history of DDT, like Operation Paperclip happens, right? We bring over a bunch of Nazis who are already studying DDT. They knew full well it was a nerve paralysant, it was an extreme toxin. We bring them over here. They're in the pre-CDC organization, and their first order of business is going around the entire country spraying DDT everywhere to combat malaria. A bunch of people get polio symptoms. They go, oh, it's a new polio virus. They ramp up DDT even harder. Way more people get polio. And then they go, oh, sorry, this is toxic. We're going to remove this from the food supply. Polio rates tank. They bring the jab out just at the very tail end and say, yes, the vaccine saved us.
We cured it. Yes,
It's
I know. I've read the studies. It's insanity. They've
Like,
done
it's
this
just-
multiple times. It's the same playbook, guys. They do
Yeah,
pull
over
the
and over.
statistics, make it look like something else. Yeah, they just misidentified lots of diseases that way. It's all toxins.
Yep.
It's almost all toxins and diet problems. Yeah, and food problems and water.
So the core environment, like EMF, electrical fields, like when they
Every time they
first brought out
switch
Rainbow,
technologies. Yep.
there's
Yep.
a good book,
Under the
The
Rainbow.
Invisible Rainbow. Dude,
Invisible Rainbow. Yeah.
It's a great book. Talks about like how the flu could not have traversed the globe or the earth or whatever at such speed, supposedly. So there's only one reasonable explanation, and it was the installation of power lines and radio waves and radar all over the world at the same time in the early 1900s.
Yeah, for the war efforts. Yeah, it's exactly what happened. And they shipped troops in metal containers
Yep.
and just flood them with all kinds of stuff. Yeah, it's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if you noticed, but every single virus happens when there's a new electromagnetic frequency introduced to the Earth.
That's
you know what I
right.
mean? So it's like
Yeah.
radar was invented, and then people got a virus.
Yeah, it's really actually exomes. They've misidentified them because you can't even see these things even under a real microscope. You have to go under electron, which means the tissue is dead. So you can't really identify what that thing is.
Yeah.
200,
and how they make
200
them, like,
virologists and microbiologists who went with exome theory over germ have mysteriously died over the last decade or more.
Yep.
Yeah,
But Champ
that was
versus
all
Pasteur.
discovered.
But Champ had it
Yeah.
right, like pleomorphism and how they like we know that they have beneficial effects on the body. Like if you didn't have a microbiome, you'd be dead. If you didn't have bacteria in your bloodstream, you'd be dead. Like we coexist with these things. Like so it feels just
They exist
extremely
because of
mild.
us, and we exist because of them. Yes,
Exactly, like,
it is a biome system, and it's crazy how we're manipulating it and thinking it's going to be fine.
It's just myopic to go, okay, there are infinite amounts of supposed viruses and bacteria and fungi around you, but just one out of the bunch is going to make you sick all on its own. Like just that level of myopia.
Wipe out the world population. Yeah, it's pretty crazy theories, but
And
that's
then-
the thing. If you don't actually validate them either, just like the flat Earth thing, they never validated the virology either. It was never validated.
You can't find if you look
Hey,
at all the
guys,
early
just
studies-
just for the sake of the live stream, if you're gonna keep going with the topic, because I kind of want to hear it too, but just for the sake of the live stream not getting fucked with, I want to avoid the 2 V words.
Yeah,
the
you gotta be
vaccinated
in your language.
and
Yeah.
the other V word.
Yeah, so if you want to use them, just for the for the Action Jackson, say the word subscription, right? Subscription
Yeah, there
instead
you
of whatever
Yeah.
else. And then if you want to talk about the Mexican beer thing, you can kind of make up whatever you want. But yeah, the subscription is how I do it. So anyway.
Yeah, the genetic.
Yeah, call it Mexican beer germ, but the other one, you should get in the habit of calling it an injectable, because the definition is very simple. I think it's only 4 words long or something. It's a manufactured product in a syringe. It's an injectable. So it can be something beneficial, it can be something, neutral, it can be something harmful, it could be a lot of different things. But the point is, in a court of law, you have more of a precedent to say no to such a thing and get away with it. We use the word injectable as opposed to anything else.
Epinephrine is an injectable.
Yeah, there's a Supreme Court case about this, right? Like, if you modify any organism in any respect, you technically own it.
Yes, patentable. It has to be modified from the natural type. And yes, if you do that, you are owned.
And then you no longer have the rights that were given to the original species under the definition of human. You become a different.
That would be true.
Awkward.
Weird. It's like you said, like if you just study the history of virology, I mean, it started by eugenicists. If you read Jonas Salk's book, Survival of the Wisest, it will clarify perfectly what people want to do to you. Like he outright said, like, I want to put selection pressure on the human population and just surround them with toxins and modify them genetically. And those that manage to survive all this insane shit are the ones that are going to go into the future and be the quote unquote wisest. It's just, they're all genocidal lunatics.
Like they were, and they were blatant about it. It was perfectly okay to talk openly about these things and write them down and speak them publicly at open forums. It was nuts.
Yeah, Margaret Sanger.
We think Germany World War II was bad. It's like, oh, come on, you guys.
Yeah, it's worse here. It's way worse. And we brought them all over here. Like, they're the ones who started our institutions, went into our universities, our medical system, started NASA.
It's all part of the same game.
It always devolves to trust. Like, fundamentally, it's like it will always come down to just flat out, who do you trust? If you trust the authorities and the government, you are not going to be in the gene pool for much longer.
God help you if you trust your governments now.
Without the patriarchy, you have anarchy.
You don't trust the experts? How dare you?
What experts?
The experts that wanted to walk around spraying DDT on babies, literally in their face, like out of the womb. First thing they do, let's spray this baby with DDT. That's what the experts told us to do like 60 years ago.
Well, these are the same people that want to cut your baby boy right away when he comes out of the womb and sell your baby boy or girl to the state by taking their footprint and having you sign for it.
Yeah, and the way we birth people too, like where we clamp the cords super early, which is essential for that child to get like all the plasma and the blood from the mother, which gives it life. Like,
and then they give them a vitamin K shot about a few hours later because they didn't get that blood, because then they have clotting problems because they didn't get enough of the factors. Yes, I know. I've been there. Delivered. Insane. It's crazy. Yeah,
Day
and it's not.
You get the vitamin K and the Hep shot, and then you're also born C-section. They clamp your cord. It's like, it's no wonder so many kids are just fucked up from the start.
Well, besides all the drugs they give mom before you have said baby.
Oh yeah, that too.
People don't realize how much is crossing that placenta and possibly causing harm to the infant as they're being born. I didn't do it because of that reason. I was scared to do that for my kids.
Yeah,
you have enough to struggle with without adding to whatever I was taking just to get through labor.
Yeah, and like if you've read Weston A. Price's book, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, he went into like dozens of cultures and looked at like what they ate and like how they took care of their kids. And the stories of mothers having children, they'd be pregnant, their water would break, they'd walk 20 feet to go behind a tree, plop the baby out in 5 minutes, come back completely fine. Like,
yeah, that's why my mom did it pretty much. She got shorter and shorter with each kid. Her last one less than 15 minutes labor. It was pretty crazy.
It's underdevelopment. Like women's hips aren't properly developed, so they got to get C-sections. Like they're just unhealthy and malnourished, so they can't properly conceive.
A lot of that was just doctors wanting to schedule it on their time on duty so they didn't have to come in the middle of the night. A lot of them were C-sections that never needed to happen. I saw that tons of times. It's gotten better a little better because people got kind of awake to what was going on, but that was rampant, especially 20 years ago.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I'm scheduling to have my baby at a certain time because the doctor will be on that I want. Blah, blah. Yeah, that was happening a lot. Still does.
Dude,
my
medical systems
daughter's
mechanics.
mother, my daughter's mother, before I was with her, she had another relationship that she had a daughter who was breech, so she had an emergency C-section for that. Once they do a C-section, after that, they want to do C-section every time. They just go through the same scar. So my daughter
Yeah,
is
they call
also
it high risk after that. So they call it high risk if you choose not to do that.
right. So my daughter was born by a C-section also, which honestly, there's some perks to it. Like having it scheduled, knowing exactly what time your daughter's going to be born or whatever. Like, it's not bad, but
yeah, it's
The
convenient.
risks are very high. You got infection risk of the mom. You got the proper healing that she may not ever recover her
The most
ability
important is the
to have
microbiome.
children again. You got problems with the child having not enough fluid expressed from the lungs like it's supposed to happen because of being squeezed out. You can have all kinds of secondary causes for that.
Well,
There's a
we got
lot of
lucky.
studies showing there's problems with it. It's really
Yeah,
crazy.
it's a microbiome.
Yeah.
Like the baby gets its bacteria and its first microbiome from the mom's vaginal canal. They don't get
Right.
that.
I missed it.
Every pothead would want their kid born at 4:20 in the afternoon.
Dude, it's almost like a C-section. It's almost like a C-section isn't even being born. It's like
Yeah, it's not.
something else.
It's not the same. Like it's definitely not the same. I was born
It's a
C-section. and a lot of
great
people-
emergency procedure. It saves lives when it's needed in an emergency, but yeah, just to do it for no other good reason, yeah.
Yeah,
not
it should
good.
be the last resort, like absolute last resort. And still, fundamentally, the
Right.
problem is just women they didn't eat well enough, and they're not properly developed. When their mom carried them, they didn't eat right, and they're not properly developed. Like it goes back multiple generations. It's not just a singular one person's fault thing. It's the fault of your ancestors.
My wife only drank fluoride-free and chlorine-free water her whole pregnancy. It was pretty
Nice.
Very
good.
good.
Nice. You're gonna have a super kid.
It was essential water. We would buy cases every week. I would get 20 big bottles of it.
Nice.
The best water you can get is Geralsteiner. The Geralsteiner mineral water. It's got the highest magnesium content. It's the best tasting water I've ever had. I've tried all kinds of different mineral waters. I've tried making my own, adding my own minerals. There's just something about Geralsteiner mineral water that tastes really good.
Yo, something good about like growing up healthy. Like my daughter is vegan, so whenever she sees food that's like processed, she hates it. Unless it's like whole food, like you can tell that it's raw and good and real, she doesn't like it. She fucking cries and throws a fit until she gets like broccoli or something good.
Yeah, the addiction to processed food starts really early. I mean, I even think it starts with feeding formulas. For a long time,
sure.
they were telling women not to breastfeed anymore, which was terrible for children. And my mom, of course, disagreed entirely and got yelled at and kicked out of restaurants and places that were upset that she would breastfeat.
Yeah, I
in
was at a
public,
party
even
the other
covered.
day. Yeah, sorry. Were you done, Damsel? I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm done. Go ahead.
I was at a party the other day, and a young lady was breastfeeding her child. Nobody cared, and it was fine. And she kind of stood on her own and did her own thing there, but she wasn't ashamed or embarrassed. She just had to feed her kid, and it's like, yeah, that's that's how it should be.
Which one of you said that
all
their kid was
natural.
vegan? Which one of you was that?
Chemtrail said that, I think.
Chemtrail? I highly recommend you read this book, Weston A. Price, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. Highly, highly recommend. I know diet's a touchy topic in like a lot of different communities, but if you want the absolute real history without any of the nutrition guideline crap attached to it that the government did, that book will change how you look at the world. And especially will change how we feed our kids and what we feed mothers when they're carrying kids. Every single like he intended when he first went to all these different cultures, he was a vegetarian. He thought by going to all these cultures, he'd be able to vindicate vegetarianism and say, okay, look, all these healthy cultures are all plant-based, yada, yada, yada. And when he went there, what he found instead was they were all extremely hyper carnivorous. Like when the mother was carrying the child, They would make sure that they fed them like fish roe, which is really high in omega-3s to grow the child's brain. They fed them tons of saturated fat, which is, again, what the brain and body is made of. Fed them liver, like all the organ meats, gelatin.
Yeah, you got to
stuff
have
like that.
animal fats, man.
It's so important. Oh, my personal story. I was super sick for like 6 years. Had ankylosing spondylitis, Crohn's, depression, eczema, all kinds of health issues. Went to the doctors for all my problems. They just made it worse. Listened to a podcast with someone I thought who was a loon at the time saying like their diet of just meat fixed all their autoimmune issues. I was basically about to die, so I just said, screw it, I'm going to try it. And within a week of eating only steak, 90% of my symptoms were gone. Like chronic 6-year-long symptoms vanished in a week.
Crohn's is
Almost
awful.
instantaneously. It's autoimmunity is a real pandemic. And
No, and I've had it. I'm diagnosed with three of them: rheumatoid, Raynaud's, and even what was the other one? I can't even remember now because I've gotten so much better. I have recovered a lot too from changing my diet.
I got a real mild one. It's called type 1 diabetes. It's not a big deal.
Oh,
Yeah.
hey, I know there's papers on that. Look up paleomedicina type 1 diabetes. There's a Paleolithic ketogenic diet. They have cured children and I think 2 adults by cutting all carbs out of their diet, feeding them more fats, higher protein content, and they get off insulin.
What's the name of that? I have a friend that's got a little boy that they're worried because he's really on the edge of becoming type 1.
I'll put it in chat for you. I'll put the paleomedicina studies in chat. It's crazy. Like autoimmune condition. It's not like
needles. Taking needles every day is not a big deal, guys. It's just, for children.
Doesn't it, man?
I was 8 years old. I'm taking four needles every day. It didn't affect me at all. Not at all.
Of course not. Of course not. Didn't have any mental or spiritual effect on your little soul.
no.
Of course not.
That's not what we're saying. I'm just saying, like, the cause of type 1 diabetes, they say it's genetic and you're born with it, but technically it's damage to beta cells in your pancreas, which causes
You know what triggered it for me? When I was 8 years old, we got an MMR vaccine, the MMR vaccine, and the next day we were throwing mucus with blood, me and my brother. Mucus with blood like for days and
MMR
days.
back in the day was contaminated for certain. They knew it too when they were giving it out. They knew it wasn't even effective at the time too. Why they even gave it out in the first place, I have no idea. But that one, man.
So that triggered it in combination to obviously diet. So no to nutrition. No, but that damage in the body, in the pancreas, and that scar tissue that was created, and that introduction of foreign DNA from pigs and all that kind of stuff into the body make that crazy change.
Yeah, I mean that the whole purpose of
and also real quick, one last point. The MMR, it was found out that has a lot of glyphosate inside as well. So there's a lot of chemicals in it, a lot of toxic chemicals inside of it. So yeah.
Yep. And lots of metals that are not on the insert that all interact with your DNA. No biggie.
So imagine an 8-year-old that knows nothing and just trusting these doctors.
Mm-hmm.
And something, guys, there's something that I always remember. That day that I got the shot, I was sitting in the waiting room, and I looked up and I saw a sign that it was a character pointing out with his finger, and it said, "You have diabetes if you have all these symptoms." And I read the whole thing, all these symptoms, and I said to myself, I don't have any of those symptoms. But then I got the shot, and then after that I got an adverse reaction, which is also listed in the insert of that vaccine, in the MMR. If you look the insert, it said in the endocrine system, an adverse reaction, diabetes mellitus.
Yeah, they're all in the insert. If people went to immunize.org/FDA and read all the inserts, they would never get one. Like encephalitis, pancreatic damage, like so many different things that they just dismiss. Like this is what's crazy. Like if you get the jab and you develop those adverse reactions and you go to the doctor and those adverse reactions are on the insert, the doctor will still deny that it was causal. They won't report it. They won't say, they won't agree that it's causal. They'll just straight up ignore you and tell you that you're wrong, even though it's on the damn insert of the shot. It's insane.
what I got when I spoke about that with a doctor, they said it's only a small percentage of people, and it's for the benefit of everyone.
Nope. Big ol' nope. There's a paper from Harvard on the underreporting. Apparently, if you look at VAERS data, it's only at the maximum 1% of the actual reported adverse events. And of that 1%, the people who go to court and try to fight for it, they paid out $4.2 billion. If that system was honest and fair and doctors were properly educated on the adverse reactions and actually reported it, it should have paid out easily $1 trillion by now in damages.
Well, out of that 1%, most of the cases they throw them to the trash.
Yeah, they just disregard. It happened to me. I got a flu shot when I was in high school for a sports physical, and in the 2 years after is when I developed my autoimmune issues, but immediately after I became allergic to eggs. Coincidentally, the shot that I got had egg proteins in it. It's obvious. Like, you inject a bunch of heavy metals with egg proteins and foods and all kinds of other crap, and your immune system is going to be trained to view that food as a foreign invader, and then whenever you eat it, your body's going to react to it with an autoimmune reaction.
So
It's so obvious.
coincidentally, for my understanding, many of these vaccines have like the swine DNA and pig DNA.
Yeah, make sure not to say the V word. Be careful. Don't say the V word.
Takes it's pig's insulin.
Yeah, I mean, you can find the ingredients list for all of them. Like even mercury too. They said they took mercury out of it, but they still left it in the flu shots. So it's still in there. And then what they did is when they removed the mercury from most of them, they just upped the aluminum content. They almost doubled it. So it made no improvement. Like both are toxic. You remove one and increase the other, it's still toxic. The logic doesn't make any sense.
You know what's the most common cancer in children? Leukemia, right?
Yeah, leukemia. Yeah.
So in many of these beatings or shots, whatever, there is one of the chemicals is formaldehyde, and if you look, formaldehyde is known to cause leukemia. And who gets the most shots? Children.
Yep. Day one of birth. As soon as you're born, you get the hep.
It's just a coincidence, I guess.
Yeah, just coincidence. It's not like the whole.
Isn't leukemia like the blood is toxic and all, like, I don't know, toxic for the body, leukemia or something like that? It's like toxic blood.
Yeah,
it's the white blood cells.
It's the macrophages and white blood cells. Like it's semi autoimmune in nature, but yeah, it's a blood disorder involving like macrophages and the T cell.
Oh, when as a type 1 diabetic, I grew up going to hospitals. Basically, after I was diagnosed, I was going to hospitals like every few months, and almost I spent a lot of time in there. And seeing other children going through that, I grew up with them, next to them, and I was like, "What's going on? Like,
dude, it's so sad.
This is normal life, huh?"
Yeah, that's the thing. Like everyone has become so everyone has symptoms. Like very few people. I know almost no one who doesn't have one nagging symptom, be it allergies, eczema, like some skin problem, they have depression. Everyone is dealing with problems in the modern day. Like very few people are actually completely healthy with no issues or symptoms. Like that alone should tell everyone that our medical system's a failure. Like ever since the Rockefeller allopathic medical system started, disease across the board has exploded. Cancer especially. Like cancer rates are what, 1 in 2 now? It's so obvious. That's what's so frustrating. Is like it's so patently obvious, but everyone loves to worship their scientists and their medical system and think that they're all heroes when they're just doing what they're told. Like the American Medical Association is who sets those guidelines. And if you try to claim that you cured anything, you literally go to jail. If you came out and claimed that you developed some frequency machine like Raymond Rife did that cures cancer, you get put in prison. That's illegal. There was a bill that was passed in, I think, the 30s or 40s that made it illegal to claim to cure anything. You just can't. It's obvious that they're just trying to keep the treatment of symptoms as a primary focus. Instead of resolving the underlying cause, which is not profitable long term, they want to keep you on medications permanently which generate more side effects, which gives you more medications, and then you just become basically a bag of chemicals and pills until you die, and then they profit off that too. It's all eugenics, top to bottom. Speaking of which, for the type 1 diabetes thing, I put it in chat for you if you want to look into it. Paleomedicine has been treating people with a Paleolithic ketogenic diet, which is basically just meat and fat, higher amounts of protein, higher amounts of fat, basically no carbs. And people have completely gotten
Yeah,
off
I'm
their
reading it right now. I've been reading it.
They've
Yeah,
cured cancer
I'm reading
too.
it, reading through the whole of it. Yeah,
My
I was looking
grandma.
at the cancer on the stomach cancer thing.
Yep. I have a personal story where I
They got a
confirmed
couple other things.
my grandma got stage 4 colon cancer. She lives in Missouri. I went down to see her, gave her a bunch of information. She was vegetarian prior. Got her to switch to a ketogenic diet with like intermittent fasting, local raw milk, raw cheeses, like quality meat. 6 months her cancer vanished. Went from stage 4 to completely gone. Healthy gut, no signs, symptoms, nothing. My grandpa, on the other hand, he got cancer like 2 months prior to that. He had prostate cancer, which turned into a bone sarcoma. He tried the diet too. His prostate cancer shrunk by like 80%. His PSA markers went down. His bone sarcoma was like 10 or 15, 20% the size that it was. And the oncologist convinced him, hey, you've done great. Like, you're recovering. Let's finish off that cancer with chemo and radiation. He died 2 months later. Grandma didn't do any chemo or radiation. Completely recovered.
Yeah,
Just
not worth it. No.
evil. I cannot stand oncology.
So my
Yeah, it's
dad
pretty
got
horrible.
my dad
Took
died
my
of
mother
multiple
early as
myeloma
well.
a while ago, 3-4 years ago, in 2018, and he got all the chemo you could get. It was weeping out of his feet. It ruined him. It killed him. And my grandma got diagnosed with cancer years and years and years ago, never got chemo, and she's fit as a fiddle at 90 years old.
Dude, German New Medicine research on cancer is so interesting. Like, they found every single case, like, out of curiosity, did your dad experience some traumatic event before he got cancer? Like something crazy?
Not that I know of. No, not that I know of. It was multiple myeloma that was in his spine, and they said it had been developing for years and years.
Right. Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so they found that.
No, I think to me, dude, what did it was he was literally addicted to using Roundup because he loved his garden,
Oh,
and,
God,
and so
yep.
he was just covered in it all the time, breathing it
My
in.
grandpa
You know,
was too. My grandpa used to spray
so,
Roundup all over his crops. He was a dairy farmer. He used to walk through the fields and spray Roundup, and he had sandals and crap on. And he ended up getting cancer.
Well, did he die of something like that?
He had prostate cancer, which spread to being a bone sarcoma in his hip and his lower leg.
Yeah, the Roundup loves to make bone cancers for some reason.
That it does. Yep. It's because it's
Yes, it
a
does.
glycine molecule. It's because like your bones are made of glycine. Glyphosate has glycine in it, and it fits on the receptor in the exact same way. Like, it replaces it. So whenever you're trying to detox glyphosate, like, you have to shovel so much damn gelatin and glycine to displace it and remove it. And then when it's being removed, it comes out of your skin and manifests in all kinds of ways, like eczema, psoriasis, all kinds of skin problems.
Yeah,
I watched that
I
happen.
hear you, man.
I watched that happen to my grandpa when he started making his own homemade gelatin, like getting brisket bones and boiling them. When he started eating a bunch of gelatin, his whole body erupted in these like lesions and spots and these like red dots and like dry patches. It started coming out of his skin because you can't.
Yeah, I was trying to expel it. That's exactly what you were seeing. Yeah, you were he was detoxifying at such heavy loads that he couldn't do this through his sweat, breathing, and excrements. So
Sweat is the
I've
most
seen that.
important detoxification system. If you want to detox like really well, get yourself a sauna. You can buy a steam sauna on Amazon for like $100. That is the
Yeah,
best way.
they're very helpful.
Well, or you
Good
could
sweating,
get some
even just
exercise
beginning
every
of
day.
year.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
kidding.
exercise.
Go and sweat a lot.
Anything that makes you sweat is good. Like, sweat is your primary detoxification system next to glutathione.
I like glutathione.
Yep.
I
Most
take
people don't know it.
NAC when I can't find the glutathione.
Nice. Yeah, next good stuff.
As my own experience, I don't know other people, but my own experience is when I was trying to be nutrition, health conscious and all that stuff to get better as a diabetic and stuff, I tried vegetarian veganism and all that kind of stuff and caught cut the animal fat, everything from animals, right? And was trying to go through the how do you say the vegan stuff, and my health deteriorated like really fast, and started bleeding. My oral health got bad.
Yeah, same thing with me, man. I was vegan for a year and a half, vegetarian for a year and a half after that. That is when I was at my sickest.
That was me, I don't know about other people, but that was my experience, and I really got really sick actually, and then fast. Like once I stopped eating, I was just trying to eat grains and fruits and blah blah blah, and that stuff just made me 10 times worse than what I was.
Yeah, man. That's why when we get into the vegan debate, you got your cannibals on one side, or not cannibals.
Cannibal? What's that? Can I try it?
Carnivore. You got your carnivores on one side and your vegans on the other, and they're both militant about like this is how you should do it. That's not how it works. It's different for everybody. One person's diet is what's right for them, and another person's might be what's right for them. Like it's
Hey,
ridiculous.
You're right, Lou. Listen, real quick, I'm sorry to interrupt this conversation because it's an important conversation to be having in general, but we have a Danny Faulkner in the YouTube chat. I just wanted to do a shout out and see if that young man has the cojones to come in and speak with us today, or anybody in the YouTube chat. If you guys,
hey, Danny.
if you guys feel like
we're ready.
Yeah,
I know
come on
that.
in. Anybody, doors wide open.
Danny, come over, Danny.
Back on.
There's one thing I wanted to say about like the diet variability. There is some truth to that. Like people born in other latitudes, like closer to the equator, they're more adapted to a plant-based diet, but still like on a standard physiological level, like human stomach acid is 1.1 to 1.5 pH, which is lower than most other carnivorous species. We have an extremely calorically demanding brain that can only be supported effectively by fats. I mean, our brain is mostly omega-3s, saturated fats, and cholesterol. I think the key with plant foods is preparing them right. Like in Weston Price's book, every culture had a very specific way of preparing the foods. Like they would never eat raw nuts. They would never eat raw fruits or raw vegetables. They would always soak, ferment, sun dry, cure. They always had these special preparation practices to make them healthy.
And there's also some timing to it because in the tropics, there's fruit certain time of the year, and even in other regions. So it's not for the whole year. It's certain so you could be consuming probably high protein, high fat during the winter, most likely, and then in the summer you can probably produce consume more fats.
Exactly, the seasonal availability is enormous. That's what's so important is like the seasonal availability of food. Like carbs are not a year-round food all the time. Like before agriculture, this is kind of depending upon like what history you subscribe to, but I mean by the evolutionary logic, like the people who say like, oh, we evolved from monkeys, so that means we should eat like them. They have a completely different physiology. Like a gorilla eats a ton of fiber, ferments it in their gut into saturated fat. If you look at like their calorie intake, gorillas, like monkeys, chimpanzees, they all get 60% plus of their total calories from fermenting fiber in their rumen into a saturated fat.
Yeah, they have a rumen stomach, and we don't even have anything close.
Yeah, that's what our appendix.
We can't do that.
Supposedly.
That's why sprouting grains is such an important thing for us, like wheat and stuff.
Definitely.
If you are going to eat breads, because again, you can't break it down the same way. We just don't have the enzymes and the acid in it. We just aren't made for it. And it has to be already semi-processed.
That Ezekiel bread is semi-processed. But you can find it in health food stores. You keep it in the freezer.
Oh God, it ripped my gut apart. It
really that stuff does for you?
Apart. Yeah, the only bread
I can't do it because of the corn in it. But.
Yeah, same. They put a lot of like mutant grains in it, but if you look up the history of grains, every modern wheat that people eat is like a quadra tetraploid hybridization of like 5 different species.
It's not the original wheat.
Which is einkorn. Einkorn is supposedly like 14,000 years old. That is the only type of wheat I can eat. If I sprout it, ferment it, I use kefir as my starter, but if I sprout and ferment it, it makes me feel amazing. It does not give me any symptoms at all. It doesn't give me any gut problems. But if I went to the store and bought a loaf of bread, like some whole wheat standard cooked bread, I will shit blood. It rips me
Yeah, because
apart.
you just don't have the enzymes. You're that's why you were having such bad Crohn's. Exactly.
Yeah, it's food preparation
It's
is
terrible.
everything. Like how you prepare your food is everything. Like all the meat that you eat at the store, it's all dry aged. They hang it up for like 30 days to ferment. Prosciutto, which is a cured meat, is fermented, salt cured leg of a pig. Like sauerkraut is fermented vegetable. Like so many foods that people love and enjoy are fermented and they don't even know it.
Well, the fermentation
Fermentation
process is essential to
Yeah.
so much in life.
It is.
The,
Before
like the
refrigerators?
fungal reaction.
The
It's life.
probiotics. It
Yeah.
is everything you need. Yeah, I love fermented foods and I actually purposely make them. So yeah,
I make
it's incredible to be able to do that.
I get
And
raw milk
that's
from a
what you
local
eat
farmer.
during the winter. That's why there wasn't carbs, even if you don't believe evolution. If you're an agriculturalist like I am, that grew up on a farm where we actually grew our own food, you didn't eat those kind of foods that you did in the summer because they weren't going to preserve correctly for the winter. You would either have to ferment it or do some other kind of curing, smoking, something. And the carbs the same way. You just didn't do it the same. You only had so many potatoes, so you got to be real careful if you got a large family. You didn't eat a lot of that stuff. So it's just different. I live differently than most people. I grew up, like I said, on an organic farm. We didn't do all these chemicals and things. And had our own dairy and grew all our own vegetables. So you had to conserve to make it through the winter. And you preserved things and you fermented things. So what we were eating was completely different than what most people would eat. We didn't buy groceries. That wasn't a thing. It was going and finding out what was in the pantry still from preservation from the summer. And lots of meat. We ate lots of meat. That's what I remember too, because we had cattle. Could eat meat. We had, all kinds of different meat. We had chickens. We had, we had any kind of meat we wanted. People were jealous. I remember my grandfather, the other farmers getting jealous at us because he'd pull out T-bone steaks all the time because we had cattle. And these other farmers weren't running cattle or they were running orchards or he even worked as a firefighter at Hanford Nuclear Reactor for a while. And he would pull out the good steaks in front of all these other firefighters. And they'd be like, where are you getting this stuff from? It's like, oh, I grew it. I raised it. It's mine. I can eat this all the time.
The old ways of doing things, that just the way we prepare food. I mean, refrigerators, like having year-round access to carbohydrates, all this stuff is completely unnatural and we're not physiologically adapted to it. We're not supposed to eat carbs every single day year round. Like we're not built for it. Clearly our default metabolic state is ketosis, and then we're supposed to get carbs in the summer and fall to help us get fat for the winter. It's like if you're combining, there's also like the insulin index of food. Like if you just eat fat, you have no insulin response. If you eat protein, you have a slight insulin response. Fat and protein is the same, very slight. If you eat carbs and protein, it's a super high insulin response. If you eat
Huge
fat, carbs,
insulin response. Absolutely huge. I've monitored patients doing that and doing glucose testing, and it's unreal how fast people can go up and how high and what it does to you. It is super damaging.
Yep, it's inflammatory. You got all kinds of stuff that comes from excessive blood glucose, which damages your arteries and your nervous system and makes AGEs, which reduce your lifespan.
Blindness, things like losing your eyesight. I mean, this is terrible.
Carbs are
You get more fungal infections both inside and out of your body as well.
Yep. Well, it's definitely, and it feeds cancer, like the metabolic theory of
Feeds
cancer.
cancer. Yep.
There are studies on it where if you just restrict people from having access to glucose, or cancer just goes away on its own.
Yeah. And we kept trying to tell my dad, dude, listen, you're not helping yourself by eating fast food every day.
It's way worse.
Yeah.
It's a combination too.
yeah.
Like it's
I
the
got
fat,
a
carbs,
question
and
for you
protein
guys.
together. When you combine the
just
three
wouldn't fit
macros, it's so hard on your insulin. All three macros together, which is what fast
Yeah,
food is.
it's hard on your body.
You eat either protein and carbs together with lower fat if you're trying to like put on some muscle and weight, or if you're trying to be metabolically healthy, it should be fat and protein with carbs cyclically, like a little bit of carbs here and there, a few days a week maybe.
I agree. I have a question really quickly. Before we might change subjects, I have a question for anybody. So if I'm a vegan, or even a vegetarian, how am I going to get my essential animal fats, the ones that the human body needs, has to have for development and sustenance? So if our teeth aren't made to eat meat, but our bodies necessitate animal fats, how would we get those if we aren't going to eat meat? Thanks.
Yeah, there's only a few plant foods that have a decent profile of saturated fats that can be a semi replacement, and that's like avocados and coconut oil and palm oil.
Yeah, but if you eat more than 2 or 3 whole avocados in a day, you're going to be shitting your brains out.
Yes, you will. Yep. Same thing with coconut oil. Coconut oil is like
Yeah, exactly.
Say the same thing with the coconut oil, guys.
Yeah, eat a lot of coconut oil, you shit your
I'm
pants.
saying hemp seeds got a good blend too. Some hemp.
Yeah,
but
hemp is probably the only thing that I would say that, like, in a survival environment
closer.
could replace that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Well,
even
you had
still, like,
no access
yeah, go ahead.
to meat. You needed
It's the
to grow
composition.
weed to do it. That's what I would do. I would use
Yeah.
hemp, but
Yeah.
it's
What
not
you wanna look for
preferable.
is composition.
Eat the grubs.
Yeah. You know, honestly, bugs aren't too bad. Like locusts are pretty high in fat and omega-3s themselves.
Yeah,
a lot
they're
of bugs are pretty
Absolutely.
nutrient dense.
Yeah,
juicy.
you can make it off of grubs and bugs and things. Yeah, absolutely.
Earthworms,
And
man.
yeah, if you have to, you have to.
Oh yeah, and like a lot of times if you're trying to survive, especially in like a wooded area or forest area, bugs will find you. You could just eat them.
The big thing too is the omega-3 to 6 ratio. Like a lot of the plant food fats are extremely high on omega-6. And they're like you can find like you know how some people get skin cancer from the sun? There are quite a few papers detailing that the reason why they get that skin cancer is because their body fat is packed full of omega-6s.
Yeah,
which
it's
come from
nothing to
seed
do with
oils.
the sun. The sun is 100% healthy. It's all in the way that you use it, the way that you get the energy from the sun, and the way that your body reacts to the sun. Listen, if you're going to if you're going to have a ton of artificial ingredients in your body and then go put on some fucking sunblock and then sit in the sun, you're asking for trouble. And the sun has almost nothing to do with that. It just
You know what's
excites the
crazy?
process, if nothing else.
There was this guy, Dr. Paul Mason. He did this presentation on sunlight and health, and he brought up this paper where he would where they did like fat analysis of people, and they found with insane statistical significance that if you have a diet that's extremely high in processed omega-6, like seed oils, like soybean oil, canola oil, your chance of getting cancer from the sun is like 20,000% higher, like an insane amount percent higher. And the people who did not have the high omega-6 content, they still got spots from the sun, but they didn't get like full-blown cancer from it. It was just like a standard like burn. It wasn't anything that was life-threatening. It's all
Yeah,
diet.
man.
Like, what you
I'll
eat
tell you
makes
what.
your body, full stop.
Yeah. Any change you want to make with your body, good, bad, whatever, is 80% diet. That's not exaggeration. That's not a made up statistic. I used to be a personal trainer and blah, 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 and all that shit. So I've been through studying that kind of stuff. And one of the first things I was taught when learning is any change you want to make with your body is 80% diet. So you can work out all you want. You know, you can do all these other things all you want. But if your diet isn't chiseled, as it were, to your body type and specifically you, right? Then you know it's not going to matter how much you work out.
Exactly. I got this. I like an idiot. I sent my my gene or my genetics in to 23andMe to get my codes. And there was a service called NutriHacker I did like 6 or 7 years ago where you can plug your genetic code into it and they'll tell you like what your mutations are and what your diet should be. I had a bunch of friends do it. I ran a Discord server. I had like 50 people do it. And every single genetic report that I looked at all said you need more animal foods. Every single one of them. It's like, okay, you can't convert beta carotene to vitamin A at like any reasonable efficiency. You have to get vitamin A from animal foods, which is the retinol form. You have a microbiome disorder, which means you need fermented foods, which would be like cheeses, fermented plant foods, stuff like that. There were ones with like K2 or vitamin K2 mutations where their gut could not convert K1 into K2 like herbivores do. Like every report I looked at said the same thing. Like you should be an omnivore, but primarily focused on eating nutrient dense, fat soluble, vitamin rich animal foods. Full stop. Every single one.
Yep.
And mine told me I had a vitamin D mutation too, that I suppose like I'm not good at converting vitamin D from the sun. Like I'm a whitey. I'm like German, Irish, British ancestry. I'm like basically pure white. And I had this mutation that was like a VDR TAC mutation where I could not get enough vitamin D from the sun, which means I have to get it from diet. And the only foods that have vitamin D in them are animal foods.
Isn't a lot of nutrients fat soluble only?
Yeah, fat soluble vitamins are vitamins A, E, D, K2. The water soluble ones are like the B vitamins, B1, B2, B5, B6.
That's why
So
you can have a lot of
how
them
can
too.
someone process those nutrients if they don't consume animal fats?
You don't. That's the thing. Animal or plant foods do not contain adequate amounts of fat soluble vitamins. There are some that have a weird form of vitamin E in it. I think it's an acetate form, not the fat soluble form that's in animal foods and animal fats. But like the beta carotene thing, people say like, oh, sweet potatoes are packed full of vitamin A. That's not the real vitamin A. That's beta carotene that your body has to convert to vitamin A. And if you're of European ancestry, like you cannot convert it at all. If you're a white dude, you basically get 0 vitamin A from a sweet potato. You
But
can't
if I
convert it.
eat potatoes, I get a diabetic coma.
Yeah, me too. I turn orange. If I sat down and ate 4 sweet potatoes in one day, the next day I will have an orange tint in my skin. I can't convert it at all.
I'm guessing
I
Trump
don't want
eats
to
a lot of.
interrupt, but wasn't there a new person like 10 minutes ago? Were they here? Hello?
Denicolas is
What'd you
new,
say?
no roles. We got a Denicolas.
I thought somebody said there was a new person. I'm sorry.
I'm not sure. Let me check. Well, we got Ron from the other day, VC verified.
I love how this stream's always full of people. You guys always got a chat going.
Yeah.
I wish one thing I do wish though is that we could have like a second stream that goes to like alternative platforms like Odyssey where we didn't have to censor ourselves. Like having a
Eventually,
dual.
that'll probably happen because, I can't believe that YouTube still is up, let alone does it, it allowed so many of these channels. But, that means we're still let up for a reason. But I don't know if that's going to continue. But yeah, I agree with you totally. All
I hate
platforms.
self-censoring. I hate the self-censoring. Like it just irritates the shit out of me how people have to like thinly veil their language and change the words.
You can
it's just
say the
trash.
N word as much as you want, but you can't talk about the Mexican beer.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
I had a playlist like right when all this crazy shit started. I had playlists with like I don't know 100 videos in it, all on like virology and like your health and vitamin D and nutrition and all that. 99% of them got deleted. Like they nuked all of it. They just went through and nuked every possible video that implied diet can improve your health and prevent you from getting sick. It's just insane.
Yeah, I remember you could search for that, post 2017. I found so much good health information. Very alternative, right? Very, very alternative. But I'm still practicing most of it today. And yeah, I tried to do a little research on it last year again, just to see if I could brush up on all this stuff. And I couldn't even find the old stuff, let alone anything new on any of these practices, anything.
There's a YouTube channel called the Ancestry Foundation that has a tremendous amount of amazing lectures on diet and health. That's the channel that
Foundation.
that's the channel that broke me. Like when I was plant-based before, like when I did veganism, then I was vegetarian, then I did a plant-based keto that was like mostly nuts and like coconut oil and all this other crap. I was legit dying. And I had all the same notions in my mind, like, oh, red meat causes cancer, it causes heart disease, it's bad for you. I had all those ideas that were ingrained into me by basically the government. They're the ones who were telling us that. And the only way I could reason myself into trying it was, well, I'm going to die anyway, so I might as well try anything. So I went to a butcher, bought 30 days worth of meat, ate a bunch of meat every single day, and 90% of my symptoms just vanished. Like there's no undoing that red pill. When you're told something's going to harm you and then you do it and it changes your life, it's such a stark inversion that it can break someone. Like it could send someone from being not conspiratorial to extremely conspiratorial because they experienced it. Like they went through it themselves. Same thing with the flat earth stuff. Like people those who like dig in and research with an open mind and like question their beliefs, those are the people that usually end up on the other side in the light. But the people who are just staunchly defending what they're told, they're going to remain in that suffering.
Yep.
I just want to see people happy and healthy, because a happy, healthy population is capable of speaking out and fighting back. A sick, decrepit, malnourished population is not. I think that's,
and that's
the
the
major
thing.
reason.
The diet, the lifestyles, the narcissistic, hedonistic lifestyles that are promoted and worshipped here, all make it very easy for not only disease organisms, unruly infections and such to fester, but it also helps the indoctrination seep in deeper and easier for whatever reason, whatever they've done to make the mind this malleable sponge instead of, forged in a fire of critical thinking throughout their lives. I guess what I'm trying to say is real life isn't presented to, wasn't even much presented to my generation. I'm almost 40, but God help all the next generations with all that. Human interaction helps with not being fooled or duped by anything. It also helps with your physical health, your emotional health. Everything improves with physical interaction. And this next generation, and then of course that next generation, where's nature going to be in all of that? I don't know. But the human body's going to suffer through that. They're going to take away all natural foods eventually. You'll be able to go up to your wall and type in a meal that is made completely 3D printed behind your wall and delivered to you right there. All you'll have to do to get your food is to fill up the 3 bags in the pantry back there, right? That have the tubes connected to it that flow to the 3D printer that prints your food. You just have to keep filling those bags, and it's just this white, boring substance. You don't know what it is.
I don't know about that, but I know there's talks about limiting the access to animal products like meat and stuff. There's been talks about that. So,
well, they do want it to be like that, like Back to the Future, when he goes to the future and they put the little pizza into the oven, and then it becomes like this really big one.
Yeah.
Are there any mods in here? Can you guys hear me? I got put in detention for saying asshole.
You're such an ass.
Who's talking?
Oh, I'm good now. Thank you.
Oh, did you just get put in detention?
Yeah, I said the a-hole word in chat talking about how raw dairy saved my butt.
I don't even worry about it next time that happens. It's like a 3-minute detention. Like,
don't even worry. It happened to me, and I never fucking cuss.
You're borderline being banned.
You weren't supposed to do that.
Creation, dude. On time and priceless every time.
What if it turns into the Black Mirror, that episode where they got that one guy trying to earn 15 million credits so he can get on that talk show and talk in front of everybody?
man, so much of that Black Mirror stuff, like that show is creepy as fuck. It just does such a good job of paralleling reality and portraying a possible near, not so distant future. Like it really like helps to show the trends of where things are going.
Yeah, that's why I can't watch it. I'll watch it, and it's a brilliant show. But like when I'm done watching it, I'm nauseous, and my head is in my hands, and I'm bawling my eyes out, and I'm like, no, it can't be.
Yeah, because it's filled with so much truth. You're like, I wish this was just fantasy, but it's not. Like that's where we're going.
Yep. Yep.
That's what most of the normies took away from that show. Is just like, oh, that's super creepy. Thank God, it's just
or cool. They're like, oh, dude, I can't wait. Can't wait for that technology.
It's like it was.
Can't wait to never leave my house, get married, and have kids in a virtual world. Fucking shit.
Yeah, you kind of got to watch like all the episodes and then combine them into like this super dystopian future like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
And that's if you want to ruin your week.
yeah, that's if you want to ruin the rest of your life.
I had to promise my wife we wouldn't analyze movies when we watch them. That's a hard one to keep.
Nah, you just might as well never watch a movie again, because once you start doing this, once you start seeing reality for what it is, there's no you just can't do it. Like every single time you watch the news or every single time you watch a movie or any TV show, you're looking between the lines at like what is that alluding to? What is that signifying? What is that, and you're seeing through the propaganda. You're like, hold on, that right there is predictive programming. What they're doing right there. And this is, there's no getting around it. Once you've taken the red pill, there's no going back.
Well, it's also just seeing the inversions and everything. Like the one thing that should make people highly skeptical of being vegan or vegetarian is the fact that the government and the authorities are telling you it's a good thing. If it's on Netflix, you should be wary.
So I know a lot of you guys you're just worried about yours and others' health. And when you're pushing the veganism thing, I know this wasn't really a vegan pushing chat, but I know there's probably vegans in here, and you do have to realize that that whole vegan thing and not eating any meats that the cows' farts are killing the entire world, and that's part of the Agenda 2030 plan. That is Bill Gates and the World Health Organization and the World Economic Forum and the UN. That's all of them pushing that it's part of their plan to get you to go that way.
Yep. They want a bunch of transgender. Listen, they want a bunch of transgender, sterile vegans.
Agreed.
Yeah, it's fertility. It tanks your fertility. That's the
just like how the more the government tries to push this thing on you, the more you know you don't want it. Same goes there. Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
It's another dichotomy or duality for people to fight over.
It's another divide and conquer. Exactly. What's wrong with being an omnivore? Why is that never in the fucking conversation?
What you mean never? That word comes out all the time.
Here's the thing. If we weren't
only the level-headed people throw it in there, but we have to jump in and be like, look, you're being an extremist and you're being an extremist. And then the guy comes in with something rational and reasonable and says omnivore, and they're like, whoa, I didn't even think of that.
Exactly. Listen, if our bodies weren't designed to eat something, our bodies would reject it. That's just how it works.
Bingo.
Exactly. We mentioned that the timing about the fruits and the vegetables, the timing of that we can eat at that time, but not the whole year. You can't eat a banana all year long.
Yeah,
because
they didn't even exist.
A banana spoils in like 3 days. Like, you're not going to eat it in the winter. In fact,
I'm lazy, man. Fuck bananas.
Where I live, you wouldn't even have bananas. Period.
Yeah, look up what your food used to like, what those fruits used to look like. Bananas used to be completely inedible and full of seeds, and then they genetically modified them to be what they are today. Apples were all like bitter and super sour, not sweet. Like all the fruit nowadays has so much more sugar in it than the fruit that we ate in our ancestral history.
And
Bananas
less vitamins and minerals. That's what the GMO stuff's all about.
Yeah, exactly. Like there are soil quality analysis from the early 1900s. Plant foods have lost 90% of their magnesium content.
Magnesium's a big deal. A lot of people don't, even people who like supplement it or, that kind of thing, focus on it. Even those kinds of people, you have to be really vigilant about getting enough magnesium for everything, for immunity, for mental health, everything you got.
It is the most
because it's a
essential
cellular
mineral.
driver. Most people don't know why. Magnesium is a cellular driver, so anything you put into your body, bad or good, the magnesium will be driving that into the cells, whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. It's also the most important mineral for detoxification. If you don't have magnesium, you're not going to be making the enzymes and glutathione and everything you need to be effective at detoxifying.
There you go.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt, guys, but Jimmy Will has been trying to say something for the longest time.
Oh, no shit.
Oh, go ahead,
I'll
buddy.
shut up. Jimmy, what's up, dude?
You're just gonna have to rumpus and just jump in there, dude.
Elbow
No,
your way to the
whenever-
front, man. That's the way it works around here.
Whenever I met my wife, we had gotten watermelon, and she learned a trick from her grandpa about putting salt on the watermelon to make it sweeter.
Yeah, it's common. Yeah. What's the other?
I never heard
fruit
that
they
before.
put salt on? What? There's another fruit they put
It
salt
like
on.
pulls the something out of it, kind of to. Yeah, I've heard that before. I haven't done it.
It interacts. There's a different type of sugar in watermelon that it interacts with, I think. I can't remember the name of it.
What about salt? Like when you eat that meat, do you put spices like green stuff or anything, or you just add salt and eat it, or just meat and that's it?
Sometimes.
Shit. Good meat doesn't even really need to be seasoned, man.
Yeah, if it's quality stuff, like it still tastes amazing without the seasoning. But yeah, I put salt in my meat sometimes. It depends on what I'm eating that day. Because most of the steaks I eat, I barely sear them. Like they're basically rare in the middle because I want to keep the taurine content. A lot of people don't know this, but if you overcook your steak or your meat, all the taurine degrades and falls out of it if you cook the internal temp over 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So if you want to keep the taurine content, which is really, really important for your brain, detoxification, your liver making bile salts, you can't overcook your meat. It has to be at least medium rare.
People who order a well done steak should be thrown out of the restaurant.
Agreed.
Period.
Sacrilegious. I go a bit further. You guys are going to think I'm insane if I tell you what I actually do with some of my meat. I mean, I eat organ meats. Okay, well, I ferment liver in a jar for 6 months, and I eat a teaspoon of it every week.
Dude, that's cool.
It's an old Native American remedy. The Alaskans did it. You know, there's this story. There's a book by Valhammer Stephenson where he went and lived with this tribe in Alaska, and whenever anyone in their tribe got sick, if it was an older person, if it was a child, they would go unbury a liver that they had wrapped in the skin of the animal. They buried it underground, fermented it for months, and they would feed it to the sick person. And the next day they'd be totally healthy. And I'll tell you, every time I eat it, every week, it makes me feel high. Like I feel legitimate. It feels almost psychedelic. Like it makes your visual acuity different. Like things become clearer. Your sense of smell is stronger. It's really kind of insane how strong of a drug it is almost. It makes you feel really good, and it lasts for at least a week, generally.
And not to mention clearing up any problems in the bedroom.
Yeah. And it's just also nutrient dense. Like bacteria make electricity. So like we are beings of electricity ourselves. Like we're just one big bag of water and electricity flowing through us. So by eating fermented foods, you are consuming electric life. The bacteria in your gut are making electricity right now. So when you eat a quality fermented food that's done the right way and not pasteurized, like you're consuming energetic electric life. And I think that's also your gut bacteria makes neurotransmitters like E. coli, salmonella, strep, like all these supposed pathogens that they try to cook out of food. They're already in your gut making dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine. So by eating a fermented animal food that also has that bacteria, it makes sense if you're getting that bacteria in your body that makes those neurotransmitters, it's going to positively affect your brain in the same way. It's very interesting. It sounds disgusting, and it really is disgusting at first. Like the smell of it is awful. Like sometimes it smells like chocolate or like red wine, and then other times it just smells horrific. But the thing is, once you taste it, if you're able to like plug your nose and eat it, once your gut bacteria gets a taste for it, it no longer smells bad. Like it becomes appealing. So it kind of shows like what you eat dictates what your food preference is. So if you have a carb craving fungus monster living in your gut, it's going to drive you to eat more carbohydrates. So if you expose yourself to fermented probiotic foods that populate your gut with a different bacteria, it's going to change your food preference and what you think smells good or tastes bad. So at first it's gross, but once you feel it your body goes, okay, give me more. that was a good thing.
Yep.
What was that food that you were just talking about, please?
High meat. You take liver, you stick it in a jar and let it ferment at room temperature or in the fridge for however long. You just want to burp it like once every few days so it doesn't explode, but basically just fermented meat.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
It's not uncommon either. Like if you look at the French in the early 1900s, they did this all the time. Like they would ferment kidneys, they'd ferment liver, brain, lungs. They would all put them in these these pottery jars and ferment them for months, and then all these rich people would get together and eat them together. Like it's not an uncommon thing. It's just modern because of westernized allopathic medicine and this fear of bacteria that we have now. Like it's just been completely removed from American culture, but the people prior in the early 1900s, the Native Americans, the original cultures, they all did this. They all buried organs under the ground, cured them, salt fermented them, sun dried. That was the only way you could preserve food without refrigerators.
Interesting.
And you guys know, like, I mean, cheese is fermented milk. Like they age Parmesan cheese for what, like 2 years? Like it's really no different. Like I just there's like this weird disconnect between okay, fermented vegetables and dairy's fine, but fermented meat is not fine. It's dangerous when it's just the same concept, just a different food. Cut the shit is not happy.
I got a question about that. When you're fermenting meat, like how do you know the difference of it being fermented versus it's gone bad?
I don't really think food does go bad in the way that we think it does. Like there's a smell test and there's also like the color of mold. I go by what the Native Americans said and what the Alaskans said. If there's black mold on it, don't eat it. But white, red, yellow, or green mold is completely fine. So if you're fermenting the meat for a long period of time, like 6 months, it changes color. It usually goes from like the dark red liver to like more of like a brownish, reddish color. And then it starts to get like a tinge of orange, and then it turns white. So it develops over time. And then the longer you do it, the more it's broken down and fermented, the more bacteria. Yeah. So it's kind of like you have to go almost by instinct.
Jewish Orthodox synagogue. Well, the Native Americans bury fish heads up in Alaska and even some of the northwestern states, and they eat them later in the winter after they fermented after the fall and spring runs. And that would sustain them, and it was considered a delicacy, and there's a lot of them that still do it, but they've been told, oh, you could die from it. They get warned by the health department all the time.
Yep. It's just everything's inverted. Whatever the government tells you is healthy, just do the opposite. Seriously, like in every respect. They tell you that you should cook your meat to 160 degrees, you should probably cook it less. If they tell you that any fermented food is dangerous, is going to make you sick, it's likely the opposite.
So funny too, because it's like they sell alcohol. You know, they love to sell us alcohol, and that is the most fermented thing that most people put in their body daily. Not most people, but a lot of people. Anyway, who was talking? Who did I step on? I'm sorry. Jimmy, go ahead, bud. Jimmy.
You'll get that one guy who takes the opposite of the FDA or whatever seriously, and then he'll go blow his hair out in the shower.
That Mark Zuckerberg video, dude, he cannot be a human being.
Oh no, that thing, I don't know what it is.
He cannot be a human.
The bulging eyes and the look at the brow ridge. It's got like points.
Smoking these meats.
Ugh.
Did y'all see some Spanish king? Looks like one.
What Spanish king? What?
I'll have to find the picture I have of a screenshot, but he looks like he's related to an old Spanish Spanish king.
What's funny is with him, it's like pretty clear that he's aware that people say that he's not human. And so now he's trying to compensate, like with videos like that one that was just the clip of him smoking brisket or whatever. And he's like, he said humans or something like that. And that, like, well, I'm a human. Like, he's now paranoid about trying to prove that he's a human. And he's just so awkward doing it. It's really funny. Like, I mean, look, I know you guys are saying he can't be human, but that's I'm gonna assume you're just being funny. It's a little bit satirical.
Yeah, we're just memeing.
He's just the most awkward human being like that anybody's ever seen. It's and
he's
it's
like
funny.
an
It's
autistic
comical.
sociopath. Like he's this weird mix. Not saying autism's bad. Just want to make sure that's clear. But like he clearly
Yeah,
has
I have
social
autistic
problems.
family, and she's my little niece. She's one of my favorite people.
Yeah. Like a lot of the times, like when we say like, I don't know, I don't like the negative connotation. Like when you say, "Oh, X gives autism," like sometimes it's a good thing. Like what ends up happening is that the people like they become incredibly intelligent in other areas. Like their brain shifts to compensate in other areas. Like they can become extremely good at math or artistic ventures, stuff like that. So it's not always entirely bad.
It shouldn't be bad at all. It's just a difference. Here's what's really terrible about it. It's based on the child's ability to adhere to social learning norms and social cues. It has nothing to do with actual intelligence. Nothing. They can be emotionally sound. They can be, you know what I'm saying? But they can't learn your fucking science textbook. Who gives a shit?
Yeah, they often become super intelligent in other ways. So you got to value that. You got to give.
Yeah, the only reason that we're told anything's going on that's different is society said, "Oh, they're autistic. Oh, it's this doctor." Like, okay, if we didn't have this kind of society, then perhaps it wouldn't even be an issue. You wouldn't even notice it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people argue like it doesn't exist, and they're just classifying it differently. Like, it's just the diagnosis has gotten more specific. But I don't know. Like, I'm pretty well convinced that the injections are heavily responsible for altering people's brains in such a way in the first place. So I'm pretty sure if I went to the doctor when I was a kid, like the shit I was up to and what I was into and like just how I was, I could have got diagnosed with autism. Like I was super obsessive and neurotic about things I liked. Like I became engulfed by them. Like I love Superman so much that I used to wear a Superman costume under a suit to kindergarten every day. Like,
yeah, dude, that's awesome.
I used to like play. I used to play with Beyblades and like do these huge tournaments in my city, and like it just. I used to get super obsessed with stuff.
Bro, we need to hang out, man. It's awesome.
Those are good times.
Yeah,
autism's not the only one. It's just how they diagnose it. I mean, they're letting the teachers do the medical diagnosis nowadays. When I was a kid, I got good grades. I did well in school, but on my report card in elementary school, almost every year it would be like comments like he's a bit of a daydreamer. You know, like
that's a good thing.
And nowadays with that on your comments, they'd say, well, he's got ADD, and they prescribe you something.
Yeah, it's all drug class. It's all classifications to push drug. Full stop. Like that. What's that book called? Where they
test? Are they having precious metals today?
You mean Ladies' Night?
You don't even know what day it is.
Oh. Oh my God! See, you lost another freaking day. It's Friday.
What?
Hello, lost a freaking day. Missing.
We were just a day early.
Missing time. Sorry.
Missing time's not good, dude. Check
I'm
your
all
butthole.
good.
Missing time at all. We were just a day early. That's all.
Yeah, when I went to sleep, I missed that time, so I woke up. Now it's another time.
You slept 2 days. You slept 2 days in one. For himself, I don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
I'm not tripping. He is.
He doesn't know. He may think I'm tripping, but
Yeah, man.
that's only him thinking.
Check your place for probes laying around.
Why would they trip? Why would they trip? How would someone know if I was tripping?
Because your feet are big.
What the fuck? Had to go to
That's
the
why you would trip. Okay.
What? Okay, never mind. Thanks. Thanks for telling me what day it was, folks. I need your help, so I appreciate it. Glad you're always
Got it, man.
come
It's
by
Friday.
and find out what day it is.
Today is Friday,
Anytime,
September the
honey.
24th, 2021. Sonny, you might want to write that one
9/24.
down.
That must be-
Tomorrow it'll be the 25th, Saturday.
welcome to the future. I'll only be able to deal
Oh
with
no,
it.
it's the present, not the people.
I'll only be able to deal with tomorrow when it gets here. I have no idea what's tomorrow. Next question. Sorry.
You're fine.
Like, what
Nobody
is
knows
tomorrow?
what tomorrow's going to be like, so don't worry about it.
Well, the thing.
Oh,
Thank you,
sorry.
Sonny.
Sorry. I just
Jeez.
muted him.
Golly, I can't get what I was gonna say out. Okay, so
You
anyway,
gotta hog the mic.
no man, like we were here just jamming out, and we were like, bro, we got a song to play for Precious Metals. Like we were just sitting here, and he was like playing some. He was just going off.
Do you remember?
Huh? No.
Do you remember?
Bro, here's what's funny. Is
Oh yeah, I
even if
remember
it
the
was-
chords that we were playing, but
Look, even if it was Saturday, which it's
I
not,
can't hear you.
guys, even if it's because you guys are making noise in the background, even if it was Saturday, which it's not, you already missed Precious Metals because that starts at noon Central and it's over about now. So, your time is off at the end of the day.
Yeah, man. Don't worry about it, Sonny. You know, just be careful. Losing time is nothing to mess around with.
Women on the food truck.
Huh?
I was saying, I was talking to Sonny last night, and he was talking about food trucks.
Oh. They are quite lucrative.
we were talking about what?
For that cut, bro. Hazard.
Sorry.
Talking about what? Sorry.
Dang, Sonny, you came in and rumpused the whole conversation with your boomerism.
Did I?
Boomerism?
Then my job's almost done. I'm sorry.
He's just trying to gain some boomeriety.
Listen here, you junior boomer.
Sorry, I was ticking.
No worries, dude.
Smoking a pancake.
I'm smoking a pancake.
Talking you don't stop.
Slap of the bass.
Talking you don't quit. Biatch.
Howdy.
Hi.
Hola.
Oh my god, this La Palma hurricane is popping off still.
Yeah? Yeah?
It's still going.
Where is it?
Watching the stream. It's in the Canary Islands. I'm watching the stream of it and it looks fucking terrifying. God.
Well,
I
that's
hope
their
nothing
fault
bad
for fucking living on some fucking islands.
Anyone else like kind of I don't know what do you call it, like doomerism, where like you kind of want some big event to happen just to change things?
Yep,
Anyone else feel like that?
it's built in. I realized that I kept, no matter how much I don't want to see my fellow man suffer. Yeah, I get that. Like when I watch movies like, the day after tomorrow or something, I'm like, haha, fuck yeah, let's see it, And
Yeah,
like, why?
exactly.
Why do I want that? I don't know.
We talked about this from pretty recently. I'm a bit of a doomer, I'll admit it, but I'm also the guy who a week ago said that I think I probably chose to be here during this time because I feel privileged to see this shit all happen. Like it's
Yeah, we're alive at the
100%.
literally the most important time.
Yeah, we're here for a reason. We're here to experience this, live through it, and hopefully come out of it better.
I'm here to save people from it. I know it.
Yeah.
It's just what it is.
That's been my goal, like trying to show people the inversions with diet and health.
I feel bad for most people. Like I've had a pretty good success story with this. Like the people around me in my life and in, like at work, like people that I talk to in the real world, I've gotten through to a lot of them. Like most people say that they can't talk about any of this stuff with anybody, and they feel so lonely. And I don't know if maybe it's because they came into this realization late, but I've been doing truthing since before it was a name. Like I was into. I knew this shit was going down before 9/11 ever happened, and not exactly this, but I knew I was already looking into the New World Order, and I knew that the system was all fucked, and that so was humanity in the future. And I've been trying to wake people up to it for over 20 years, and it's been a tough battle. There's been some real rough patches, especially right after 9/11. There was 10 years there where people wanted to kick me out of the fucking country for talking about it, But when it's you got to just stick with it, and the people around me are like, it's panned out good because with the thing going on right now, all of my immediate family they're not taking the cure. You know what I mean? You're
fucking lucky.
They're like holy shit. I didn't believe them, but how could I deny what he said now at this point? It's all.
Yeah, my whole family is on board. Like even my grandma, my 87-year-old grandma, is aware of like Epstein and all the pedo crap, and like so many people have become red pilled thanks to this whole ordeal. So like there's things to be grateful for, and people are definitely waking up, but it's the perception. Like I think there are so many bots online and on Twitter and Reddit and elsewhere that it gives people the perception that they're in the minority when they most definitely are in the majority. Like we have this skewed perception of like how many people are awake, how many people are red pilled on the government.
Well, that's the thing too. It's hard to pay attention to. Like one day this guy delivered food to my place. We got into a 45-minute conversation about all of what's going on, and I had no idea that it's just this random person was going to be so woke. And then, there's other people. Like I talked to this cop the other day who I went to high school with, and he's just oblivious to all of it. And he's a police officer, and he just doesn't know what's, it's just strange, man.
IQ.
Yeah, dude, and it could be offensive to people, especially that joined the military and stuff. But I'm sorry if you ever put yourself out there to be a cop or to join the military to do the bidding of psychopaths above you in the name of patriotism or anything like that, you were dead asleep when you made that choice. Like there's no way that you could even have the mental capacity to understand what's going on around you if you decided to help them.
Yeah, I call it sleepwalking into oblivion. They just people just want to remain comfortable so badly. It's frustrating.
They want to not have to work for anything. They want to be ruled upon because they want to be told what to do, what's the best way, quickest route, path of least resistance, okay? And the leaders say that they've got that. Yep.
That's all you gotta say. Just govern me harder, Daddy, please.
Exactly.
Tell me how to live, what to eat, where to go, when I can fly. Just tell me what
how
to
much
do
salt and pepper do you have to put on those boots before you lick them? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, patriotism. I mean, there's some good in having like pride in your country and your culture, but patriotism has been weaponized to just acquiesce to bullshit now.
Well, yeah, well, even the word like patriot, it's been bastardized. Like, a true patriot knows that part of his civic duty is to keep the government in check, to always question whatever choices that they want to push forward. You're supposed to resist everything the government wants to do. That is what being a patriot is. People who call themselves patriots today, that's foreign to them. They've never heard that before in their life.
I mean, like the original patriotism too is defending the Constitution, the freedom of speech, freedom of religion. Patriotism nowadays, though, is it's just the reverse of what the liberals want. That's what's considered patriotism. And then what's the God, what's that foundation called? Oh, Project for a New American Century. Like those neocons, they think that like destroying America and rebuilding it under this like fascist regime is the new patriotism. You guys read about that? The Project for a New American Century, like pre 9/11?
Yeah, it was pre 9/11. Yep.
Yeah, I read it.
They talked about weaponizing patriotism in that. They talked about like weaponizing it to fulfill their agenda. And
Well, that's what's going to happen, dude. Trump's going to come back, and all the zealots that were Trump zealots before are going to return full force, and there's going to be a lot more of them. See, we were right about Trump. He's a fucking hero, dude. See what Biden was doing? He was killing the country. Fucking Trump, man.
Yeah, no, there is going to be more because even the liberals out there who hated him before, a lot of them are getting really sick of this totalitarianism that's happening around us. And they don't like the restrictions, they don't like the mandates, they don't like the lockdowns, and even if they don't like Trump, they're still going to be like, well, at least he's a difference from what we have now.
Yeah.
Well, I think Witsit, Austin, I think he's completely right on Trump. Like he fits the bill for being the Antichrist.
Yep,
you know,
I
Trump
agree.
was also born on a blood moon eclipse. Did you guys know that?
God.
He was born.
Well, and he said, "I'm the chosen one" when he just did his gold place at is it? Where did he? Jerusalem? Where did he fucking build his new place? He said, "I'm the chosen one." Hang on a sec.
Who was it who said, "Govern yourselves if you can keep it"? Franklin?
I don't know.
It sounds like a Franklin quote.
Govern yourselves. Just govern in yourself.
You know what's funny with Witsit is, what's funny with Witsit is long before the election happened, I was like the only person in here saying that Biden was going to win. Everybody was like, "Nope, landslide for Trump," and Witsit was one of them. And he wanted to make a bet. We did just a friendly bet. We said it would be $1 or whatever, a Coke, I think is what it was actually agreed on. And sure enough, when it all went down, I was right. He was wrong. And later on in one of his videos, probably, I don't know, 6 months ago or so, you know, he was like, "Yeah, it all makes sense. I don't know how I didn't see it, blah, 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 blah." Like, how it went down for Biden, it's the only way it could have gone. You just had to look at the trends, and know what the powers that be are trying to do, to know that Trump was on his way out with that last one. But now, even though he was wrong before and I was right, and I will keep reminding him of it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people thought the same. Like, a lot of people thought, just based on popularity and how many people Biden was getting at his meeting events and whatnot in comparison to Trump, like, it seemed obvious Trump was going to win. So it's pretty fair to like be
it was obvious to me that he wasn't. That's the thing. It's like, but now I agree with him though. Like, it'd be nice to disagree with him so we could, double down on that dollar bet. But